Hello, 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 hello. Um, so a lot has been going on, and today is August 5th, 2024. Um, Before we just jump right in, there is you know, the gifts or the awards or the whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called, that I hand out. Two, an update about what's going on with my health. Three, what is going on in this energy on the planet. So we'll just skip to um, update first with me. So I went to the doctor because I was laying down as I had fallen on the 23rd, and then on the 25th, I had to go to the doctor because I'm laying down. It hurts because I torqued my girdle, and so I can't move, twist. But laying down, my lung would start to fill up, and as I was using energy, I kept hearing it was the heart. Well, that's odd. Okay. So I would use my tools to help balance it. And so when I went in there, she's like, well, how's your heart? And I said, good. And then found out with an x-ray that I have my lungs are great. My heart's great. It's just I have a small infection. And I think I picked that up the moment that I had all the energy of healing went straight to repair the damage that I did to the ligaments and the muscles and all of that area. I didn't break a bone, thank you, Spirit. And I thought, why do I keep falling, especially on my birthday, and hurting myself? So that's the question I threw out to Spirit. And thank you, Spirit, for some answers. And the medicine really makes me feel uh, really weird. It's not one consistent side effect. And I taught my tribal class, and I would have words. I re-listened to my tribal class. I've decided that I wanted to change, help tribal, because no matter when you join, it's either going to be too advanced or not advanced enough. And you want to have that fine balance. So I decided to put in pictures and words to help create a more bigger image. And so I was doing that, and it's very important that no matter where you are, where you're the beginning. So the question today was, do I talk about like what's the beginning steps when you start what spirituality or down this road or to be independent or be empowered or to heal yourself or any of this? And it's not really about like a beginning. I do have that. Yes, I am building that for a website for those that want to join Tribe, but don't want to come to class or depending on if you're auditory, digital, um, which is the self-talk way of communicating with yourself, or are you visual, or are you just auditory, or are you kinesthetic? So there's different ways of communication with ourselves. So as I begin to heal myself, and I'm healing much faster than I have in the past. So yay, all of my work of healing the emotional negative, they can be very heavy, and it can affect the light you have in your cells. So it becomes a WEIGHT. It becomes very much a weight. And it causes different spaces of where you are to WAIT. And it's important to heal those out. Um, so as I'm growing and healing what I need to do, I began to, like, where am I at? How am I doing? And so I've taken all the wins, everything I've noticed. I feel like all of a sudden better than I did the day before. I memorize how good that felt because my brain only knows how crappy things feel. And so I'm building a new filing cabinet within myself so that I can feel better and better all the time. And so as I'm beginning to do that, as I'm beginning to do that, uh, I feel really good. And then I twinge and it hurts. And it's like, and so I've been learning a lot of things. Like burning pain is that it's the way the blood's trying to move through. And then there's shooting electrical pain. That's all about the different levels of inflammation and things, which is good information to know. And so when I help people, I can build this framework with more knowledge. So there's more and more and more and more and more knowledge that one needs to know, but yet at the same time, just get up and go and do what you need to do. So I'm getting better. Um, I'm better and better every day. My language is, how you doing? Better and better, because it's not a lie. It is. Um, if I'm just going to assess it just on the emotional scale, um, better and better, or is it the feeling of the physical going? Ugh. But no, it is better and better. So learning to have that language of truth within yourself. What are you going to follow? And so that's the update with me, is that I'm actually able to walk. I'm actually able to bend now where I couldn't, a lot farther on this side where it was like only this is as far as I can go. I can go much farther. Um, the pressure of like cutting and spreading, I couldn't do. I can now cook supper. My husband's probably happy about that. uh, um, there's lots of things. So I'm on the men's, and it is discovering a little bit deeper things. So bits and pieces about my history is that the adrenals seem to have somewhat of an issue, and I'm like, okay. Been asking spirit, what is all that about? So around 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm dreaming about how I can't breathe. And I feel how hard it is to breathe. And I woke up. I'm like, whoa, oh my God, I'm not breathing properly. So I went in, I did a treatment on myself, and Spirit said, you have in your aura that's shared with anyone the emotion blame. I said, is that related to what's happening here? And they said, yes, your body is running. So my body was in flee mode, the stress flee mode, even though I'm doing my best to sleep. Okay, so I went back to sleep and I woke up, and there was a part of me that is meant to hear communication deeply. So today's thing is, how does the heart cry? So my thing is always wanted coming to back to balance, understand that it is returning to love. And so how does the heart brain work? Well, when the heart feels slighted, hurt, we take offense, we don't know how to communicate with that. And then it hit me. Part of the dreaming was showing me. Now, what I like about when you're in your hypnagogic state, now this is a state where your brain, the activity of certain brain waves and sorry, this is the medicine. So like your pineal gland and all of this, and they will put you in a certain state where you like are in between, but you can hear more. So the veil is very thin. Okay. And I got to experience again and again, it wasn't just one time, again and again, how growing up, the words are so normal, I wouldn't have known it. But in the dream, I'm there listening and taking it and seeing how the scalar field, the shared space where I'm supposed to feel guilty and I need to listen to the adults and I need to correct my behavior so that they'll change their behavior. Okay. Whereas, like, if their behavior is to change my behavior because they're parents or they're in charge, I've learned to change their behavior. That's the mirror by changing myself. And but you just don't know what you need to know. And what I got to see was how the mirror image, as I'm standing there spiritually looking at myself, how the language, oh, because you didn't do the dishes, we got nothing to eat on tonight. Or because you didn't put your toys away is because why I tripped and fell. And it's not just that. This, oh, there goes my whole phone on. Take care of this quietly. Um, but it's in everyday language. It's in everyday friendships. It's in everyday, and I will hear and I will call in these people just so that my moderators know one of my TikToks is down and is trying to restart itself. So just waiting for it to. And people talk in blame language. It's because of you. And what will happen is that it's not that I mean, I used to take offense. Now it is, why do you have to talk like that? It's because of you that I feel this way. It's because of you. It's because I can't. It's because of you. And I was listening to one of my mentors, and they said people have, oh, did I write it down? Um, in the case of cause and effect and chaos and consequences, oops, where did I write it? Is that one of the things that tribal needs to learn is how to take ownership of their own crap. One of the things that we all need to do in this world is to take ownership of our own crap. And why should this happen to me? I'm a good person was the old way of thinking and being. Here we go again. Okay. And I'm like, this is very interesting. So why do we lie to ourselves? Why do we have to do this? And why is it that we don't pull in the light? And why? So all these questions of why would come up. Why do we break promises to ourselves? Why do we do that? Why? So learning that first step about how do we communicate with ourselves or learning how to communicate with others is super duper important, because if we're not going to stand for ourselves within ourselves, meaning I know when I lose power, I know what I lost it to, I know how I don't need to use blame for anything, because in the end, I'm the one that made the choice to respond in that nature. And as I'm noticing in my field, is that I use guilt towards myself to change their behavior. That's what I learned as a kid. And I'm like, no, that may be what I learned as a kid, but does that mean I have to be strict with it for the rest of my life? No, I'm going to own that shit. Do I need it anymore as I age? Do I need it anymore in social skills? Do I need it anymore? And it was like, no. Now, what happens when we say we're good people, but yet we play in the dark, is that we give ourselves permission to indulge in the dark side. This is that part where people really enjoy being angry. Watch people be so angry that in different relationships throughout my life, it is they're a different person when they're with me. And then when they're with their friends or with their family, they are different, or with their by themselves and they're upset by something, they can get ferocious. And if they have their friends they don't have to play with, or their family's not around to play with, then they have to have the outlet. So then they would turn it to me. And I'm like, whoa, that's not the type of relationship we have. Why are you turning it to me? Where are your friends? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm not doing anything. I said, well, in a way you are, because we've only known each other this way. And now you're bringing this in. It's not that I'm denying it. It's just, do you understand that when you're coming at me, it's the energy field, it creates a heat, it creates a stress. I'm don't want that. So before you do anything else, I've always learned to just stop. Like me and my husband, we've just stopped. If we can feel that we're going there or we're losing power or any of that, we just go, stop. We're out of sync because we're honoring the space that we're in with each other. It's not about right or wrong, good or bad, or any of this. It's about I'm going to heal my backstory before it becomes a woundology, before it has to be my story, before it has to sit there and be an always. So I'm going to heal how I'm in this space first. Okay. And so as I begin to measure, I change the chemical peptide that causes me to be in this one perspective and constantly seeing this perception. So now, once I've got it to zero, it can start to go, what's the wisdom? Ask the question, do the witnessing. And then I can say, okay, have I returned back to love? And if I'm still arguing in my head with that self-talk, trying to win, or to, then I need to be the one to go back to the table. Who are they to me? Where have I seen this before? How have I memorized this? Because I know as an is right now, I wouldn't have this fresh experience unless I have myself energy attached to emotions that I learned from youth. So, what part of my youth do I need to own that says I'm done with that character, that behavior, that belief system, that voice, that to which, because there's different perspectives that creates different perceptions, and then the shift in perception is can be your miracle. So I've often said, and is like when I was little, people weren't there for me. Now the wound would be, oh, they're not there for me, and I had to take care of myself. No, what gave me this is once I healed the pain and the suffering to this to the always was wow, I learned mega skill. Now, I could go on to the extreme. Again, we go usually extremes where it's like, I won't receive help. Da, 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 da. But if I heal that, then I can be in where I realize I'm a resolver. I can apply this gift to anything. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited about how I want to see what else have I learned. Where's the wound I need to heal? Where is it that I've thought I've learned skill that gone too far? Where is it my heart loved too much that I lost perspective? So I go in and I look and I find anything less than love. And then I need to find the enlightenment. So I have to empowerment through enlightenment. So I have to find that information. It always, for me, it goes down to can I notice when I'm not in a cup of peace? Yes. So my biggest thing is that my heart is going, you have to show up to yourself as guilt. And as soon as they walk in the room, turn the TV. That's what my mother, what I learned as a child, because that was the way the parent was. Um, if an elder came in the room, you're supposed to do that. If you have somebody that's superior, no. I didn't know that. So I kept doing it throughout my relationships was I have to be afraid. I have to, but when am I going to learn that that's not true? Well, you keep healing enough of those, oh, I have to guilt myself, or oh, I'm in pain. Oh, I have these beliefs and these rules that I need to really look at and say, do they really serve me as the person I am today? Not really about who I'm going to be. It's like who I am today. But you have to have this soul's urge to want to see this uh, these characteristics, these personalities that serve you when you're talking to this person or doing that or having to show up. Um, you really have to look at it. And some people you just can't get along with. That's because you're supposed to grow. from them. Like I have superior people's energy in my space, and where like they have to have the next best thing, or they have to be superior and always win, or they have to gather this or that. And it's like, but why? I want a relationship with you. Why do you have to so I'm not, and then it's realizing is that no, I don't have to be just because they're family. No, I do have the right to say no. I don't want to keep putting my hand back in the fire. I don't need to keep putting my hand back in the fire. And when I chose not to do that, then yes, there is going to be some um, interference, destruction, which means things have to change in order for me to be where I need to be. And since I'm a thorn in their side, I may as well just pull myself out and not have to play in that field. It's not that I've taken my cookies and went home. It's just I don't want to put my hand in the fire. I don't need to be around drama queens or kings or whatever you want to call them. So I'm choosing, literally choosing. So my health is that I need more light, but I don't have to feel like I have to be ashamed for the choices I make or the development of who I am. But if I'm shaming and I'm taking it from the outside, it's because my little still thinks that I'm playing in that field, but I'm not. I don't have to. So the part of what you need to do is begin to notice where you lose power. What are you doing? And you need to learn how to measure, and you need to learn how to heal it, because I can't remember who it was that first said it, but the moment you take offense, the moment you give away your power is the moment you lost. The moment you said that pisses me off, you just lost a certain amount of power. And that means you have to play in that field until you balance that out. So it becomes a safety, security, stability, sanity, surrounding space. And it depends on the mindset you're in. Now, being that said, yes, the prices have changed. It also changed in my business as far as privates, but with Tribal, you get one heck of a deal. Tribal gives you discounts, okay, for private sessions and other benefits that you can get where, because if you're a member for a certain length of time, then you can get rewarded certain amount of weeks free. So it just, you get a lot out of it. So Tribal did go up. Okay. But at the same time, um, the tribal members, we will talk about all this tomorrow. But right now, as far as it only went up a few dollars here and there, I took away the minis because it wasn't popular. Um, but today, everybody wants a mini, which now it's like, what? Oh, I will take the minis today. So just pay $5 if you want a mini, but otherwise it's considered a piff. We can go that route. If I I thought long and hard about all this. Um, anyway, that is that. Secondly, winners today. Winners today. So let me get camera switched. Means I need to open this. Oh, that's not right at all. And that's not working. Oh my goodness, that's not working. Why? Hold on, I don't understand it. Let's try it again. Okay, that's better. Not as good, but it's better. We're going to trying to teach a concept that it has never really from the invisible to the visible has always been the challenge about what it is, you know. So this is your chance to get into sorry, I gotta shut this off. To come on my show. A chance to come on to my show, whether it's video or audio, you come on my show. This is an expedite. This means that you've paid. to come on to the show, and your name goes into a drawing. That was the word, drawing. Um, I don't, so Ayme, if you see a person's name up here several times, it's because they have dedicated themselves to doing that. And there's not a lot of other people. So there's no favoritism going on. I put the names in and it comes up. Uh, let's see here. Okay. Now, PIFs are separate than just expedites. And this is the money that goes towards for other people to get readings. And yeah, Ayme won again because what the random generator said. And coins. Now, let me just write these down. Bring a friend. Not many people use these. And so you're going to find people repeating their names. Okay. I can't even read that. Oh, mentions. And mentions is Linda Love. Now we have reels, and this is the little shorts, the little reels, the little things that you see on YouTube and Facebook. And that was Miss April Lynn. Whoops. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. My brain's doing that thing because that medicine, I think. We have old videos or videos that I've done and then commented afterwards. And Crystal Allen has been really putting her name out there. And so it's like, boom, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So take a minute and congratulate the winners. These are the people that have been consistent, that really want it. And because you really want it, then you got it. So the expedites, PIFs, and bring a friend is Ayme. Now she brings a friend because it's people that she does her TikTok shows and they come on over. The PIFs, she always seems to donate each week. We thank her for that. And she gets her name. Expedite, she does it every time. Linda, she just is like mentions and then reels and videos. April Lynn and Crystal. So I appreciate totally spelled. Well, no, I spelled it, but it just doesn't look right. Anyway, these are the winners, and I appreciate everything. So I got to remember to look at this later, and so you can use those today. You can use them. You have up to 30 days to decide how you want to use them. Now, April Lynn has paid last week, and then I was sick. So she has a chat. So she's in the chat. And but when people pay money, it's not just, here, it's here. And so, April Lynn has decided that she wanted to, oh goodness, okay. I can't function. Goodness, here we go. I don't know what's happening. There we go. And now my other phone died again. Okay. I have no idea why. I'm down one TikTok. I don't even have it in the case. It's overheating. All right, so we're down one TikTok. Sorry about that. And it's trying to function, but it just, I don't know. So when your heart cries, we're saying that. If you're basing it on minutes, bring a friend is about, you usually get 2 minutes. Okay. Bring a friend, you get an extra minute. If you are paying for the mini, then it goes anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, and sometimes people get it longer. But there is no set time, so don't go, oh, she cheated me. I'm used to doing them for 1 minute, so I've just asked Spirit what is the best, and it comes either 1, 2, and if the person Spirit will say, okay, then you donate your time for that. So it's not about if you're coming in and that's being cheated or that's unfair. Go heal that, because that's not where I'm coming from. There is no set time, but Spirit does make sure that I am within a certain amount of time. Otherwise, I'll never get off the show. So there is a certain amount of time. So this one's going to be a little longer than this one, and this one's going to be a little longer than this one. And like I said, I got rid of the minis because I didn't think anybody wanted them. Well, apparently I'm wrong, because that has come up today. So I'm going to honor those, do them. Let's see. When, okay. Sherry, how are you? How are you? I'm just regrouping. I'm in my mind. I'm healing. Oh, I know the feeling, Miss Angela Stokes. You have no friend. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. There's a chiropractor here and other people, it's like, okay, put the word out. And I'm like, but I don't have any friends in Adelaide. Remember, if you're here, please give a thumbs up. It does help out. Hi, Nicole. How are you? Nicole Paul, did you see the videos? Did it make more sense when I put it or in tribal? Good job, Angela. She says, I don't sit there with my tail between my legs anymore. And you have stepped up. Good job. Uh, when we begin to catch the fact that how we do things, it's not about right or wrong, good or bad, but it is, who am I? Am I inside? Who am I? Am I going to take responsibility of how I show up? Or because remember, we don't have to live on one side. We're duality. We're both. Um, so it's your integrity that you are meaning to step up with, and it's can be difficult at best when other people are in their whatever state they may be in, but it doesn't mean that you have to lose your power or change who you are because they're right and you're wrong. It is, thank you, Spirit, show me, so that you can decide how to be and what you want to be in the moment. I've chosen to no longer be religious. I have been spiritual for a while. How does that feel? How does that feel? Because when you, I've had to divorce religion, but I didn't divorce God. I didn't divorce that beautiful love, that spirit. I just don't need to do that religion, because one of the things that came in last night at 5 a.m. was how I'm running. And I'm like, what am I running from? And it was how the people in church, okay, this is the strangest part. Okay, I would be a little girl that would love to just sing and dance. And I thought I was always singing and dancing with God. It's all I knew at that time was the word God. And I didn't even know who that was. I just could feel it. I knew when I went out and played by myself, I had my buddy God. And we would have fun picking up flowers, watching the birds, laying in the grass to see if you can see what, I just remember all these wonderful things. And then we never went to church. So I went into I wanted to know more about God. When I heard my friends in school going to the Catholic Church or going to church, it was like, oh, you mean I get to talk to God or I get to meet God? I wasn't for sure, I wasn't sure. And the next thing I know, it is I my one friend, she took me to her church, and my mother said I could go because I was so excited to want to know about God. And my mother said, okay. And I'm in church and I'm in the, what is that little place where the little kids go? And I'm all excited to learn all about it and what they were saying. My heart was singing, and all of a sudden they said I was a sinner and that I'm bad and that I swear to God, I heard God don't love you. I was so confused as a kid because that moment I spent every day playing by myself with God was so fun. And then I always felt that God was going to punish me, that God didn't love me, and that anything I did wrong, it's like, see, I'm gonna cry right now because I can feel it. It's like having that elf on the shelf that they're always watching, and you better not do anything wrong. And so it was love was used as a weapon. I better do right. And the hardest part was when everybody's right was different than everybody else's right. And so as soon as I did it right here, it was wrong to them. And then as soon as I learned what's right here, it was wrong to them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, all I know is that I couldn't turn to God because I'm going to get punished because what did I do? I didn't eat my peas, or I didn't say hi to somebody and I let them down. And because there was a lot going on. But to a child, it's really a lot going on. And my best friend, which was God, really was not best friend. And so I would quietly sit with God and I'd say, okay, I'm sorry. I'll do better. And I made mom mad. I mean, I literally made relationships with people based on the fact that I thought God hated me or that God was going to condemn me and that God wasn't going to protect me. But yet I remember different places when I've been in situations that I felt Jesus's hand was there and help me through that. The door closed and something bad's going to happen to the kid or the person. And but yet I know that no matter what I endured, spirit was there. So I had all these confusion of what was happening. And then everything led to the fact that it's like, no, I'm when I renounce I'm like, all right, so I got married and I started to go to church again. But when they started to say we're ice cream and they're sherbet, I'm like, wait, souls are souls. I'm older now. And human beings are human beings. Why are we not casting love? What are we doing? What is this separation? What is this? I'm better than thou. What is this? Because this person chose to express themselves, then you're supposed to deny them? I'm like, oh my God, that crushed me even further. And when I was taking care of my mother, when she had cancer, and by the time, I mean, what are you supposed to do? I live 2.5 hours away, and I'm there almost like 3 or 4 days a week. So all I brought was my Bible. By the time that after a couple years of doing whatever, and I was reading the third time through. So, I'm started from chapter 1. Well, this time I didn't. I started from the Revelations and started reading. You've got to find a way to read, right? And so all of a sudden it was thought something was wrong with me. I didn't believe in doing any drugs, whatever, but it was like, why is it looks like man's words were disappearing? And I was seeing something other than, and it was like, all there is energy, it's love. And it's why we're here is to find out what love's not. And do we have to stay stuck in that? And that's in a nutshell. And everything was about energy and meridians and relationships in the field. And I'm like, but I wasn't scared of it. But I knew if I were to talk to my church, they'd say I had the devil in me or something. And every time I would look at it with my heart, I had this heart brain relationship. It was became the knowing. And so I realized my soul's urge was to find love stronger. And so that's what I did. And yes, you had to go through a field of people with different personalities, different relationships, different opinions. And there was nothing wrong with it. It's an and respect. You do you. Now I'm going to go find me. She says there is so much more than others realize. Absolutely. She says she feels free. She goes, now only knowing from church that what I was taught on this side is still hard to grasp what I'm hearing, being taught words I've never heard and yet find fascinating. That's your soul's urge. This is why when I'm talking, I'm not talking to this, the meat suit or the biochemical suit. I'm talking to your soul because your soul says, I need nourishment. And so if I'm speaking to the soul as love, and I'm speaking that you can just be able to look at it completely different in a love state. It's not about, oh, I'm innocent and all of this, but you're sitting there with a live experience you're going through, but yet standing back is the discernment, not the judgmental, the discernment, and go, oh my God, I lost power there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see how I restricted there. And it's just creating a different relationship, but you need new information in your filing cabinet. This is the filing cabinet is you, and from 0 to what age you are now. But the first 7 to 12 years, the first 7 is all about picking up, you're a brand new computer, you don't know how to act, you have needs and you know how to get them now. Um, you know how to keep yourself safe. And then these generational curses that's been passed on, some epigenetics, some of this, da, 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 but that just, and then from 8 to like 12, you are practicing what you've learned. And then from 13, when hormones come in, and then you have the junior high years up to so it's 12 to 15 pretty much. And emotions come in. Holy mothers. And it's all of the childish ways that we need to let go of even more. Some of us haven't learned how to let the youth go, not the innocence and the love and the play and the fun, but the wounds, the things that we were supposed to learn. And then when you're in junior high, like we get the concept of time. Our cognitive skills have increased dramatically of knowing how to have cognitive skills, how we can do certain things. And so it's like the concept of time. Oh, I need to call my friend. Now you just did it, but you don't understand the concept of time. So all of a sudden you feel like you need to do it again because you didn't think the first time. And so you back to back to back to back to back, and it shows up as needy, or it shows up as this or that or the other. So here is this energy. And you have to develop with hormones because your innocence has to leave to some degree so that you will take that next level with hormones to what you need to do, how you need to do it, to be in that next stage of more increased experiences. Okay, you're ready for that next level. And then after that, you are ready to explore and express and to be whatever until you get to the round 30, when all of a sudden you have what they refer to as like a midlife crisis. But what it really is that you are reevaluating, is this really what I want? Because now we're starting to add us into the story field. A lot of us don't do that. We're taught to do not self-care because that's selfish and all of this. We have all these old belief systems, all of these old things, and you're supposed to pity somebody if they are on a date alone or they are single or they don't have kids. Come on. I choose not to do that because I did not realize I had a choice. I thought it was the next logical step was you have to get married, have to have kids, da 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 da. That's the right way to do it. I love my children, but thank you. But I also know there's a part of me, it's like, if I did have the choice, would I have been strong enough and brave enough to have them? Would I have chosen, do I think I can do it mentally, emotionally? Do you understand what I'm saying? So our belief systems have a lot to do with. So I stayed and endured certain things because I thought that was the right thing to do. I never put myself in the equation. And this is the consciousness of where you are now putting yourself in. And you can stand up and fight back. But I've learned that no, I need to keep healing those files, those old wounds, because I keep losing power because I'm saying, universe, keep creating more of it. I don't want to keep creating more of it. I want to rise. So I have to look where I am less than love with any situation and say, how do I know it? What is the number? And I want to heal out the emotional chemical peptide so that my brain and me, my soul can go, okay, I don't need the wound. I don't need those always. I can do something different. And if I don't have enough knowledge, thank you, Spirit, for bringing in the knowledge so that I can start building a foundation. So when you're in tribal, soul coaching is, yes, you will be dependent on me to give you the knowledge that you can't see, and we can do the healing. You don't have to do the healing, it's not required. But if you're on this journey and you are getting some sort of peace because you're putting the time and the effort to look at something, heal something, to see something different, you're changing. You have the ability to do this. And if you don't remember to EFT, use OMG or any other free healing tools that I have on my site, you're practicing, you're learning. And it's not, you don't have to be forced, but if you're finding that when you go on a wave and go back into the old matrix and you're caught up into it, and then you come back and you're like, God, I like this better than here, ask yourself, what are you doing differently? What can you do differently? And if that means apply a tool, change the knowledge, then you do so. And I've learned that, yeah, you don't need to go to church to find God. When I really understood consciousness and I understood this, consciousness is here, consciousness is here, consciousness is here, consciousness, it's a big part of how we see reality. Is what creates reality. It is that consciousness is necessary, consciousness is love, consciousness is God, consciousness has the gift of awareness to see itself, to experience what is itself. And it's asking questions. And we are just part of the different ways that consciousness is learning to express itself. And all I know is that when my heart cries, why am I believing the wound? I can use a tool to change the wound. Oops, come on, Spirit, let me have my, I can change it. Knowing that gift that I can change my brain, change my emotions, change the wound, change it, not overcome it, not stuff it, not suppress it, but to literally feel a shift where I can know that I'm calm, know that. But if you still feel like you got to fight, you still got to, then go back to the drawing board, keep healing. Um, let's see. Just looking and reading here. Totally agree. You don't have to go to church to know God. Be loved by. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, once I divorced it, I wasn't begging for God to love me. I realized as soon as God already loves me so much so it'll give me everything I ask for without question, good or bad. God is in the sowing and the reaping. There are spiritual laws. There are the Hermetic laws. There are different things that help create humans. And it's like, I need more information. And I'm going to sit in my heart space of love, not wishing, longing, or any of that. I'll heal that out. And I can return to love and sit in my cup of peace. And the hardest part that I've been learning is when energy is thrown at me, when people bleed all over, when they're revved up and then this happens. And I'm still that little girl that I need as the adult to hold space for myself as a little and help her heal. And it's very unique about how when you shift that anything less than love out, and it's a clearing in the brain. Yeah, and see the thing is spirituality is not religion, even though if you listen to religion, it's spirituality. But we're carving out a new way of communicating with our heart. A heart brain coherence is spirituality, not ultra spiritualists where they feel like they still need to fight. There still has to be a war. There still has to be conflict. There still has to be all of this, and there still has to be a alpha and a beta and da 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 da. No, when these you that is where you have to begin to own your shit. Do I like it? Do I want it? Do I need it? Yeah, well, that's why I spent more time reading the Bible because I'm thinking I've got to know this. But when I started to understand, the biggest thing that blew my mind that I'm so devoted was when you found out there was more books that were left out that created the Bible. Books that never made it in? Who made the decision on that? And then you find that kings have changed the structure for their favor. It was like, wait, what? Oh, sorry, April Lynn. Was there anything specific, or did you just want spirit? So it is when your heart cries, it doesn't know how to find that peace. Now, I have heard some awesome sermons. I even have a friend that's a reverend, and I love listening to her. She talks more like I do. I am a reverend, and but yet at the same time, I choose not to do what they do. I chose to do it the way to which Spirit has spoken to me. And when it's about love, when you're able to see, like, when it's less than love, it's okay to be there. There's no shaming at all. I love how everybody's chatting here. It's beautiful. And when I feel so much better, I don't like the feeling of hell. So I apply a tool, whether it's OMG, Source Point, and end up feeling so much better. And when you begin to notice that you miss yourself, or you begin to notice what self are you missing? The love. It boils down to what are you being? It's not about the outside at this moment, but what are you being? And if you're being less than love because your old reaction to the outside is just came up, what are you being? What is that reaction you're being? What are the snapshots? Do you need to do a knee-jerk response? Do you need what skills do you need? Where are you at? But this is you with spirit going, I'd like to change this. I'm tapping out. I'm going to heal how I know this from this angle, this vector, this perspective. And once you start to do it, you'll get another perspective on that because you've collected many. And then all of a sudden, you're going to get into a state that wisdom starts coming in. And a habit that you used to do, you're like, the beautiful part for me is like, I'm not doing that habit. Did you just hear what came out of my mouth? It was totally different. I would have never said that before. And I've caught myself in a rise where being integrity was being consistent. And I don't have to lie and I don't have to change my story and I don't have to remember it. It is being consistent. I never lied. You're this, I'm that. And I love and care for you, but we just don't mix. It's okay that we don't have to force ourselves to mix. You do you and I will do me. And It's okay to do you know how many billions of people are on this planet? Why do we have to stay with the same two or three? So it's a big, big difference to how and what you do. And it's like, why do I keep bringing in the same person? To me, I kept the question was, is why do I keep hooking myself to the same, to the same, like I always saw myself as the boat, as the boat. Why do I keep hooking my boat up to the same vehicle? Because I'm a different boat, but yet why do I hook it up to the same vehicle? And I know that sounded strange, but that was the only metaphor my part of my brain could comprehend. And it was, why do I hook myself up to people that are negative, people that are suppressed, people that bleed on each other, people that would rather fight, people that would throw their opinion and say, there's no other way but this one, and you need to change yourself. It's like, why did I do that? And then it dawned on me, yeah, what? Where's the rule that I'm supposed to? And I had to really own that and change the emotions, change the story. Because when you change the emotions, the content, the word, the phrases, they change and they grow with you. So I get to change the construct of how I'm building things. Uh, yes. Okay. So let's talk about this hair. All right. So there's nothing wrong with having friends and family and this and that. And I felt that it was important that I express myself differently. And a friend of mine has lost their hair, and it's like, I'm going to stand in solidarity, not cut my hair, but how can I express myself? How can I show and care for others that, you know, nothing wrong with wearing a wig, nothing wrong with expressing yourself. I look at the women that change their hair every day with different colors. Yes, it's in different cultures and things like this, but we're a woman, we're a man, we're whatever, but the ability to be a soul to express ourselves. And so I stand in that part that says, let us be free. Let us be in a state of what makes us happy. And I happen to like matchy matchy, which may drive people nuts, but that's their choice. I know the feeling that it gives me. And so I want color, I want gems, I want pop. And some people gave me some birthday money. And so I bought this with my birthday money, and I love it. I love it. It just screams me because I didn't want to dye my hair anymore and I wasn't sure how to do it. So, you know, I have more, but they're in the corner and you're going to be able to see them throughout the few weeks because I got such a good deal at Shein, Shein. And April Lynn loves it. She's giving me lots of fours. Um, I love the conversations you're all having. So, April Lynn, was it just anything in particular? Because I'll just give you your reading right now. And again, love is love. And you're doing it for your reasons. And if somebody is accusing you for doing it for the wrong reasons or not their reasons, go heal out the pain because our heart does cry. Oh, thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So like I said, a lot of you have been commenting, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to address this. I didn't think I'd have jewelry. These here, if my friend Jen O was here, this is with her daughter when she was young, in her teens, made jewelry, and I can't remember if I bought some or whatever. But anyways, these are from my friend Jen O's daughter. This was a piece of jewelry that was supposed to be a whole set. Half of my jewelry came across from America, and the other half, I don't know where it was. It's okay. It should have been all in that case, but I don't think it works. And you never know what spirit has in your stuff. You don't really need new stuff per se. It's like, what do we have? So I've got just a regular gray t-shirt with this blue shirt, and it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like me. And to blossom. Yeah, beautiful. She said what spirit wants. Okay. So um so congratulations, Miss April. Lynn, you have won. But you paid for this for last week when I couldn't come to the thing. So I appreciate you waiting. And we're going to just see where I heard the word update, but we're going to find out. And Spirit says there's something about behave or behavior. I said yours, them. They said just look at the word behave. And there's something about behave, way, lack, and muddled. So sometimes within ourselves, we're not sure how to show up. We can feel the energies of the space, and it's not even our stuff, it's other people's stuff. So it's like you're walking into stuff. Okay. Does that make sense, Miss April Lynn? Because one of the things is that when people are having their stuff and they're doing their stuff and they're throwing that stuff, and it's not always about good stuff, you somehow are supposed to be a martyr. I said, is that actually a martyr where you're supposed to become less than so that they'll be happy? Yes. So you learned as a kid that if you change your behavior, they'll change theirs. So you were matching deficiencies. They're deficient, so they're throwing their shit all over. So you would go into deficiency and you would diffuse it without realizing this gift that you're doing. I asked, does your soul want to continue to do this? No. What do we need to do? Well, if we understand that the moment other people's energies are invading our space, are in the space, the question then becomes, do I have to be discouraged by it? And I said, well, why is it so strong? And they said, it affects her fifth chakra. And in the back, it is the will to speak, the will to choose, the will to be, and then the choice is in the front. So you have this way you communicate, metabolize. It's all about how you metabolize. The fifth chakra is very amazing. It's about your voice. But they said for you, this has a lot to do with how, okay, I'm going to be deficient. I'm going to become less than. She said she understands. Good. But it's not because she's a victim. It is because, okay, this is happening. How do I make it stop? How do I adapt? How do I? So in her child's mind, it was, I caused that. I need to be taken for blame. So I don't know if you're aware of that one. I said, are you still taking the blame? Yes. So if I do this, and so you tried different things, and the one that worked was, I need to become less than. And they said that you are done with that. You are done with that. You basically were done that around 33. You're like, I'm done being deficient so that you can be happy. I realized that my mindset at the time was that it was your fault, but it's not. My wisdom is that I learned that if I change this, it will diffuse the thing I can't stand or the thing that I don't know how to handle. So when their energy is bleeding all over the place, the beautiful first time that you resolved it, now you're challenging it and saying, do I still need to do it that way? And your soul is saying, no. So to help you get out of this would be to say that look at it as a self-imposed limitation. When I see this, here I am, I'm happy, and I see this, I stop myself automatically based on how you shows as a kid. And literally you limit your growth. Okay. They said if you understand that you have self-imposed limitation, the anxiety came after because you also were trying to grow to be you. Now you have to be afraid of the future because that's what anxiety does. And what do you have to do with anxiety? You have to abuse yourself. So it's not necessarily that I have to feel scared about the future, but my future is that I have to put these self-imposed limitations, which is a self-abuse, so that the future is something I can handle. So I want joy and peace. That's what I'm chasing, and I'll never get that because I'm running away from the bleeding, the hystericalness, this is deep. Yes, that they're doing. And so in this case, you have to go back to when you were little. And I feel like you're about 4 years old. And I think that we have to start to work with the central meridian. This central vessel meridian has everything to do with the main pole. The main pole that is how the north and south energies that run through us. And sometimes they will flip. This will come down. You will be completely vulnerable. And all that energy you don't mean to absorb, you absorb. Okay. So they said the first thing they want you to do is they want you to hold this and here. And they want you to notice that you are discouraged. So the first thing is you're discouraged from being you or in that space because of the bleeding that's going on from people. So they said if you can measure how they are and how that energy comes in, and you hold this, you should start being able to bring it out of this front field. Because right now it's when that happens, you're gut like a pig and your shields are down. And so begin to measure, do this, and you will also notice that you'll have to do another thing because it's about invading. Okay, so that means their energy was so strong, it came at you like a bulldozer, or it came at you like knives, or it came at you like a big sludge of bleh, or tidal wave, a tsunami type energy, and you don't feel you can survive it. So you're still going to go back. That's number two, but it's the same process here and here. I don't care which hand, because we have to begin to feel how this pole inside of us starts to balance. And right now it keeps wanting to flip. It comes off balance because we made the choice. Now, the making the choice that I need to make myself deficient so they'll calm down is where it's the lung. And that's where you're going to need to do right wrist, first position deep, and start realizing that it's not from a victim standpoint, but it was a choice. That if I change and not show up this way, but show up like this, then it can change that. So you have to really see it. Okay. Is there anything else that we'd like to give her? No, I think that's it. Do I need to clarify anything? That's what I want to know. That's what I need to know. What did you guys hear from that? Because it's a different angle. That means a different perspective. That means she's going deeper. So every time she's healed an angle, she's gone out, got experience and changed. She's breaking down that first response that she did. We can't just change that first response. We won't be able to do it. We just won't be able to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she's healed enough, she changed enough of the emotional chemical peptides that she's able to reveal another perspective to that perception. And as soon as she gets enough of those perspectives healed, then a shift in perception is going to create a particular miracle where she's going to have this rise. Anybody, did you hear her story? Did you hear it? Hi, Melody. How are you? Okay. So that to me is super important. We also have, let's see here. I probably should announce all that we have today. I found my little list, which I had. Yeah, I did have. Oh, I did have, but where to stick it? Ah, that means I'm going to start again, isn't it? Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. So we have three piffs, or four, yeah, wait, four piffs, and we have three minis and a chat. So these are the different types of piffs right here. And we have, so if you want your name in the drawing, let me know. We know that Ayme is coming on, and there's a chat, I believe, from Morgan. We have got to pay attention, Brenda. Yes, that's correct there. Somebody has given me a gift of a present to me. Thank you. I appreciate that gift. Oh, so Teresa P, we're going to take care of her. She says lower right back pain. Okay, so I was taken care of and I did what's called a flat rate. And a flat rate is just a certain amount of where there's no video and I'm just working. So this flat rate is this person was just chastised. Now, that's normal life, right? It's normal life. But what happened was the conversations throughout the day, less than argumentative, blame, throwing people under the bus, just all this stuff called life. They caused their sciatic to jack up. And so we're working on rubbing points and holding points, and um, sciatic came down. Now there's a perspective and stuff that we have to work on, but the pain came down, and yeah, need to probably go need to see a chiro, physio, or massage therapist or whoever. So TP, if you're here, we can work. So I want to know if she's here. So we have for the PIFs, we have Tamara, Nicole. Oops, did I write that twice? Tamara, Nicole, Angela, Amanda. I missed somebody. We have Angela, Nicole. I got that. We have Amanda. Got that. I must have wrote Tamara twice. Hee. Okay, so we got four. If there's anybody else, then that'd be great. Now we also have, so TP is what I'm going to do. Morgan has paid for a chat. Let me put down Morgan. Morgan has usually beautiful questions. So in a moment, we will do you. I will do, I want to see if Teresa is here. Is Teresa here? We'll switch over to you. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Morgan. Um, yeah, probably easier to read that way anyway. You're right. And but TP. So I'm just wondering if TP is around. Let's see. Autumn says, "Yep, okay, I'm gonna." Oh, okay. So Autumn, my friend, needs a little extra attention as well. Okay, sweetheart. So Autumn, and then we got Crystal. Crystal is for her name in that drawing too. So we have Tamara, Nicole, Crystal, Amanda, and Angela. Yeah, crappy writing. So the first person again, if TP is here. If not, then I will go on to the next person. Just waiting to see if she's here. Just waiting to see if she's here. Yeah, go ahead, Morgan. I'd say put your question up. That would be, yeah, do that. Okay. So I don't think TP's here right off the bat, but we will work on her. So I will keep this open. And Morgan asked the question, and then Autumn, I will work on her after that. Okay, that's the way we'll do it. That's the way we will do it. Okay, let me just shut that. Just looking at the numbers on my thing, it was just really interesting. Good. 11, 13, 14, 22. Hmm. All right. So we'll just jump over to Morgan and then we will do Autumn. So hopefully Autumn will be on deck for that as well. Crystal, I already have your name down for the PIF. Okay, so Morgan says, what can I do to get out of my living situation faster? Okay. Then it's not a bad or anything, but I feel extremely bored and I just don't know what to do most of the time with that free time I have. Oh, that's actually beautiful. So one of the things that is important is boredom. It can be your spirit's best friend. Okay. Because there is a space inside of you that is as long as you let go of the external, okay, camera, as long as you let go of the external, you then connect up to spirit. This is your opportunity. It's a gap. Connect up to spirit and just say, thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. Become that resolver, because this gift of the vision reality is to go, okay, you're going to tap more into your heart. You're going to tap more into, so you can play around at first. You can look at stuff in your room. For you, you're like, but I want out of here. Okay, so then we're just going to play with it. What would it look like? It's not the urgency to get out, but you're creating an opportunity to connect to that gap, to spirit. So you're going to go, okay, thank you, spirit. I want to move somewhere. Okay, what would it look like? Not exactly about how much it would cost, but you got to be specific to some degree, but not too specific. So I want to what would it look like to live in a small apartment? What would it look like if it's bigger? All right, what would it look like if I was in the country or if I was in town? So start playing around. Oh, hi, Diana. Start playing around with letting your vision grow and allow yourself to go, yes, this is what I want. Now, what kind of job or what can I do that would help increase the money? So I know I have the money. I have the money, then I can get this. So then you start to say, okay, what is it I like to do? What can I do more about it? You play. And that one takes a little bit more time consuming, but at the same time, because I've noticed I have been hearing voices, but don't know if it's my random thoughts. I have an idea on where I'd like to live, but I am be alone away from family. Now that is beautiful, because your littles or your higher self said to move, you just told yourself that I need to measure and take care of, I would be alone. Do you have a preconceived notion that that'd be fearful, that I would be alone? And if it is, then you can decide, does it represent hopeless? Does it represent helpless? How do you know? You've never done it before, so why do we have to assume that it's fearful? And so for you, they're telling me that once you start to notice I'd be alone. I'd be alone. They said they want you to do right wrist, first position, soft. I'd be alone. You'd measure that. You kind of go, it's kind of scary, or find the emotion, because it's like, I don't have the self-efficacy. I can't do it. A belief, what measure that, but sit there with right wrist, first position, soft. And then heal this down to 0. Now, she also said, um, I'd be away from family. It's not just alone, but I'd be away. So there's a amount of distance that says that it would take time. I'm away from family so that I'm more exposed, more open, more fearful. Kind of explore with that. And once you start to do that, then you can start get a handle on how the self-talk of your ego that tries to do survival goes into your rational thinking. So you're going to go left hand, second position, nice and deep, L2D. Okay. And you're going to go, I'm going to use my imagination about how it all looks because they're so far away, and all of the things that makes me feel with your successes, unsafe, insecure, unstable. I believe I can't in myself, or I can't do it alone, which falls in there. And then I don't feel like I have serenity, or I don't have freedom to do so because of fear. So again, look at the imagination with L2D. Let's see. Okay, I'm already wanting to tear up again today for some reason. That is the L2D. You're going to tear up, L2D. Something lies within that, which needs to be discovered. So if we start to take away the automatic response to it, then you should be able to hear a little deeper. I also wanted to ask about my online friends again, because I noticed that they're giving me physical feelings mainly in my stomach, I think. So if your body is responding and you're saying they're causing it, then what happens is that you're feeling a little bit timid, shy, or discouraged. And if that's the case, I'm looking at how this meridian is down. This needs to be up. but it's down. So when you are around, part of their signature is that they talk suspicious, or they talk with lofty, or they talk with gossip, or they talk. It's about how they talk. Maybe they want something more obvious, so they will say, "Oh, stay a little longer," blah blah blah, whatever. There's a part of you that why your stomach area, because whatever's happening there, there's a part of you that just feels like it's like I can't bond. I can't really bond. I feel like there's something else going on. Go back to left wrist, second position deep, because your body is trying to um, grow up out into who it wants to be, but it's repeating a pattern. Now, do you feel like you owe them? Do you feel like that you have to feel small around them? Because I feel like if that's the case, I have to be small in order to have friends. Then you're going to go left wrist, third position. 1, 2, 3, and push in nice and deep. Okay. Do them slowly, measure them. Think stomach area, not entire. Okay. That's kind of like where I was going. So, yeah. All right. Thank you for clarifying. All right. Very proud of you. Your name goes in the drawing, sweetheart. Thank you so much for all of your great questions. And hopefully, I have answered them appropriately for you. There you are, Miss Autumn. Okay, you're next, dear. You're next. You're next. And you had said that you are going through a lot right now. So I'm concerned. Do you feel like you're going through it right now, the emotional aspect of it? Because if so, Spirit says they want me to help you with that part of your brain. And they are saying that it's like I'm always used to having to play out. So if you're with me, oh, so Autumn, there you are. No, Autumn, wherever you're at, I'm waiting for Autumn to respond. Hopefully she comes back and talks to me. But Morgan says, one thing I also notice is that I must know if they're online or still are online or something. So notice the need, the need, the need. And it's like, I got it. Measure the need and also do it as L2D. I need. Okay, okay, it's just a little. Okay, so Autumn said it's just a little. Do you want me to? Okay. So the theme that, when the heart cries, this is also, I think, part of it. I feel like you were supposed, okay, so how do we explain this? I'm not going to give her a reading just yet. I need to explain this to her. So if you go back and you listen to April Lynn's, that could give you a lot more insight about why I'm going to be particularly talking about this. To save yourself when chaos reigns. The biggest thing that was around you was when people would discourage you, where you felt shy that you couldn't really be you, where you felt timid because of the way they spoke, or however they were acting, or they were bleeding all over the place, and all these emotions were you were absorbing. Okay. So to make it stop, you became less than, so it would change the situation. You became less than. You became, I have to be sick, or I have to do this, or I have to. You took and turned down your light, and it worked. They zoomed back to what you felt is safe, but it cost you. It cost you. Yes, yes. So good, she understands. So this is where you're stepping up, going, okay, I'm going to use this as my first time. I'm resolved the situation, but now it becomes a territorial struggle because you're older. So we want to address the territorial struggle first, which is the right wrist, first position, soft. Oh my God, here we go again. They want me to go back to being deficient so they can feel safe again. Now, once you get that down, you're going to go into I need to change who I am so that they'll calm down. Now, this means that you need to do is hold. I don't care which one goes here, but here. Make sure you touch the top. Okay, you're touching, touching, touching. It's a triangle. But somewhere in between where you made the decision with your first time was they liked it, they understood it. And so now they thought, well, if I push my agenda, which is coercing. It's a forcing. I mean, I know this one quite well. And it's and you're like, oh, and you can't help it. And so you change to give them what they want. Now, at first you did it so that they would calm down. Now they got a taste of it. And so they figured, oh, it must be when I abused them or when I pushed my agenda or whatever. And they're doing it for really good reasons. But to you, the energy, the forcing is too much. They're saying when you feel that, they want you to go because you completely become ungrounded and the pull switches in you. So you're going to go right wrist, second position, nice and soft. Okay, nice and soft. Really feel how that energy is coming at you. Really begin to feel that because you are lost up into the sea of energies. And it's not that you can't cope, handle, and deal. That became your coping tool. But then it got out of hand. And then you couldn't self regulate because you were conditioned and cued to have to respond that way. So we need to help you heal these, get some of these energies back so you can change that because what you did is, like I said, in mine and then with April Lynn's was we chose to put a self-imposed limitation to not be our whole light, our whole self, in order for them to calm down. Now it's a play back and forth, tit for tat. Oh, if I push this button, they're going to push this button. If I do this, they're going to do this. And so what's going to happen is that they want you to understand that you have somehow got lost and you're no longer irrelevant in the relationship process. It's like you're gone. They're irrelevant, they're relevant, that person's relevant, that's relevant, but somehow you became irrelevant. Irrelevant. Yeah, that's the word. So when you begin to feel how you also want to be not relevant because everything's throwing you like, I just want to disappear and shut down. I can't do this anymore. They're both, I said two things there. You're going to go right wrist, second position, soft. Now, you may have to measure those two separately. So re-listen to this part. Remember to watch the timestamp. But they're very distinct. And I know you know because she's got a lot of yeses here. So we know we're right on track to where she is. But just get ahead of it. You are worth it. Just apply. Just, write it down. You can do this, honey. I'm holding space. I already see it done. I already see she's like, victory. She's got this. She's got this. Okay. All right, Morgan. All right, Autumn. Um, just take Coco and hug Coco more because I think Coco is concerned about you. Just gonna throw that in there at the end. It's like Coco's like, Mama. That's all I'm saying. Autumn, that's all I'm saying is Coco needs to know that you are hearing her and she's hearing you. You're welcome, Autumn. Yeah, you got this. You got this. Okay, so Miss Jasmine, you're in a bad space, huh, babe? I'm going to put your name into the drawing. Okay, Miss Jasmine. And okay, so we got four pips, and I'm going to collect these names. So hang in there, okay? Hang in there. Let's see what else do we got? I'm asking Spirit. I'm still talking to Spirit, and we're doing good. Okay, so now we have, let's see, Morgan's done, Autumn's done, and then we have TP. Is she in the room? I know she had pain. Now, it's always better if somebody's like here, but if she fell asleep, thank God. Well, pain doesn't let people sleep. Hopefully she's able to. So let me just do this for Miss TP. So, like I said, physical pain. When your aura, like for me, was that I was supposed to be guilty, feel guilt to change. So I know how to protect myself. So it's a different type of coping thing as a child. But the physical pain is when the energy is coming at you. So let's say you're having an innocent conversation with a family member. It becomes an invading. You're being honest, and they're coming at you with distrust and helplessness and the bitch of the day. Okay, so then you go into a friend, or you're hearing the neighbors, or you're talking to somebody, and your insecurities pop up because their energy of they are emotionally unstable. Now your body is going to respond because they're emotionally unstable, the way they're coping and handling, the way they're talking, the way they're doing all this, all of a sudden becomes very lofty to your field, and it will push you down and like suck the energy out of you that you can't get it off. That the body's life force changes, and where pain, where like a lung condition, a leg condition, your nervous system is going, oh my God. And so your pain will increase. Your nervous system is saying, I'm restricted with life force. Being that said, what I need to do is have TP understand that the body is going into, I need to shut down because this impending doom is not that it's coming, it's here. Doom is hitting me. I may not be conscious of it, but my body is like, oh, Jesus, mother of God, make it stop because the end of the world is happening right now. And you're going to do left wrist, third position, nice and deep. Okay. That's L3D. Now, your family, the epigenetic aspect of it, is that everybody's supposed to invade everybody. So your relationship style is that everybody's supposed to invade your space. So your heart cries, stop, stop, but you wouldn't recognize your family if they didn't do that. Now, that is where you're going to see signatures in others when you grow up. So in this case, you can't help but to feel weak. So the nerves are going, oh my God, here we go again. And you feel weak because you just don't have it in you to do this anymore. Left wrist, third position, deep. So kind of pay attention to, like, did you hear the neighbors? Did you hear something on TV? Or were you doing your shows or your TikToks or whatever it is that how you do you? And did you get a response? Did you feel a response? Did you, you know, because there's a part of you that's missing not having family, and yet the only way you memorize family is if they attack. That maybe makes sense to you. So what happens is that you're going to need to do L1S, because your relation, love equals unrequited love. Love equals unrequited love. Love equals. So even though you want love equals love, you have memorized it as a little girl, especially around 7.5, is that I am not supposed to get love back. And this is where your heart says, I can't help but live in the crushed. I don't know how to be confident because I already know I'm crushed. Now, here we go again. This is where you're going to go left wrist, first position, nice and deep. Okay. Measure it, heal it out, because that is all related to your pain. Now, to help your pain specifically, because you asked, is that you're like, I'm incompatible. I just don't, I need to shut down. I need to not feel. I don't want to do this. You're going to take and you're going to use a magnet on both sides of your stomach meridian. So this point right here, right before the curve, right on top, this point right in the middle, you're going to do left first, then right, and you're going to use your magnet 24 times, and you're going to rub deeply 30. Then the other, and you're going to think pain, and then you're going to use your magnet again because, and you're going to think deficiency, and you're going to do it on the liver, but only on the right side. So the right liver at this point would be follow the big toe and the second toe up, follow the two bones, slide forward, and to where there's a little hole, use the magnet. Yes, use a magnet and then rub 30 times. Again, think deficiency. Now, the next part you're going to measure again, like I'm constantly contemplating, thinking, 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 thinking. That needs to be disrupted as well. And we need to go. So when you have your knee, you have 2 points that you're going to be playing with. You need to understand that here's your knee, and at the bend of the knee, there is this bone and the fat part, the calf, right? And right there, when you slip into the crack and push up against the bone, the inside, the big toe is spleen, and then you're going to do it on the outside, which is gallbladder. Those two are tag teaming energy that's controlling how the nerves are functioning from what I can see, like too much or not enough, but it's disturbed. So get in there and you can rub them both same time, or you can rub them individually different, but it's at the bend on, here's the bone, here's the fat. You're going to push up against it and you're going to deeply rub. Okay. Okay. Now that's important for TP. Now I can't measure whether, usually I like you to check back in with me, but I think I give you a lot. Now, Jasmine, yes, I've known her. She is my friend over here in Adelaide. And so, yes, I have seen her in person. Now, Jasmine, I don't, the reason my moderator is asking is because that's part of her job. Now, I don't do in-house anymore. So I do it through this thing. What do you call it? Zoom. Okay. With that said, I've got your name in a drawing. So let me just do these and let's see if you win. Okay. So just hang in there, hang in there. I'm gonna get the duck race going. We're gonna see how spirit is right now, how we're gonna do this. I gotta go find the ducks. Where is there it is. Okay, so let's see, we're gonna go 20 seconds. And then we're gonna choose the names. And because we have 4 piffs. Okay. So Jasmine, if you want to come over, you can see the duck race and YouTube Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion. It is kind of fun to watch. We have Tamara, roll call, Tamara, Jasmine, Nicole. We have Crystal. Goodness. Crystal. We have Amanda. And we have Angela. Let me just see if I have everybody. Jasmine, Tamara, Nicole, Crystal. Yeah. Got anybody else? Oh, she's here, here, you're there. Yeah, I think we have everybody here. Amanda, you still here? We're gonna do this. Okay. Sherry, did you leave? Because I know you didn't say anything, but I know somebody. Robin, get a pop in to watch the duck race. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. While you're here, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you like this content and would like more. All right. So we got 20 seconds on the list. We're going to hit done here. It's really weird. This thing's jumping all over the place. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And we're going to hit share. Here we go. Come on. And we get the ducks in a row. Play. Ooh, advertisement. How do I get that out of there? Okay. We got too many nudies. So I'm going to put some more clothes on you. Let's try it again. All right, let's get this one. So we're going to start it. So Amanda's in pink, Nicole's in green hearts, Tamara's in strawberry, Crystal and Jasmine is nude, I think. I don't like how I can't see the names there. I think that is, yeah, there's Angela. She's a graduate. Crystal's coming up, speeding up, and Crystal is the first. All righty. Now we're going to go see who else gets to win. We're going to hit a start. We're going to change the clothes again. I like looking at different outfits. Oh, you want to just be naked, huh? We'll give it one more shot. Oh, there we go. Everybody finally got a costume on. We have Angela that is a doctor. Jasmine, you are got a green spike on you. Tamara, you're a Sherlock Holmes. Angela, you look like a unicorn, and I think Nicole is that no, that Amanda's a unicorn, and Nicole is a construction worker. Jasmine's going. Oh well, Jasmine, look at that. Spirit has spoken. Yeah, the leg is crazy. I know. I know. It is bizarre. All right, we're going to keep these costumes, and we've got two down and two to go. And here we go. Here we go. Nicole, Amanda, they're all, everybody's just kind of tra la la la. Amanda's sneaking ahead just a little bit. Oh, here comes Sherlock Holmes, which is Tamara. Tamara, you're sneaking up, man. Nicole, Tamara, Tamara, you've got it. All right, and congratulations. Now we have the last one. Now, what happens was right now, Crystal is 1-3, Jasmine is 1-3, Tamara has 1-12, and the last one is a 3. So here we go. We're all starting off quite nicely. You can watch any reading I give you, you can watch again and again on YouTube. And Amanda, you're sneaking ahead. Oh, Angela's like, no, me. Oh, it's Angela. Okay, it's Angela. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to hit stop. Wait, race again. We're going to hit stop. I don't know if the ducks are going to quack. We're going to find out. So congratulations to all of you. Okay. And if you're new, I can give you a free reading, but you have to wait your turn and I will get with you. So right now, we've done that. I've done that. Those people have won. Yes. So Crystal, I know that Angela said let spirit choose. So Jasmine, you want me to just pick and help you balance out your emotions? If so, measure it, Jasmine. Tamara, you get the 12. So if you got very specific questions you'd like to ask, let me know. Congratulations again to all the winners. I'm going to have to put on the heat just a tad bit, not much. We're going to finally get some warm weather next week, I think. So that's going to be good. I still haven't celebrated my birthday. I haven't been able to get out. So my husband says, as soon as you get better, we're going to go out and continue where we left off. So I'm excited about doing that. I'm excited to get some food, maybe some cake, get back into doing things. Alrighty. So Crystal, you here? That leg is awful. Ugh. All right. I'm gonna check. Maybe sometimes it's here. Times no, it's not. Okay, that's fine. Well, I'll wait until Krista comes in the room, I think, because I like when people are here. I'm not seeing Crystal, so I'm going to move on to Jasmine. Is Jasmine here? Is Jasmine here? Well, thank you for liking and appreciate it. Gracie, if I've never read you before, I can. Jasmine, you said you are going through some emotional stuff. Can you measure that? Like 10 being the worst? 10 being the worst, and we're going to help your brain and your body to start to balance if you would like. And if so, then you just follow along with me. So give me the number of where you are at, and then you are going to be able to follow along. Maybe an 8. So you're going to start on the left side, and then we'll do the right. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to the big toe. So follow the inside of the leg. You're going to rub this point. It's just past the bone, the bunion point, and you're just going to push in, not slide, push in and deeply penetrate. 30 times on this side, and then you'll do 30 times on the right side. So do that real quick. Doing both at the same time, however you do it. Okay. And then I will look and see where else we're going. Okay. Side. All right. And when you're done with that, you're going to go and you're going to think deficiency, and you're going to go to the left side only. And you're going to use your hand over the big toe, second toe, follow the two bones up and slide back into a hole. You're going to put your hand palm, back of the hand, that's 2, palm, 3, back of the hand is 4. You're going to do that 12 times or 24 on each, all together. And then you're going to deeply push in and rub 30. You're going to think deficiency, 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 because this is where your mind is like going, oh, you can't help but to focus on where you're being. And so just keep rubbing this. And when you're done with those 2 points, okay, and when you're done with that, we will go into the next stage, okay? Okay. Now the body is right now, I can feel it. Where am I getting Reese peanut butter cups? Oh my God. It's like I smell them and taste them. Reese peanut butter cups. I am not sure why. Not sure why. So, oh, when you just came out of the sauna. Okay. Now you're going to go left hand and then the right. Left hand, and you're going to follow the pointer finger and the thumb, come down to the 2 bones, slide forward, and they want you to push in. Let me see, do we need a magnet? No. All right, you're going to push in. Now I like to do this one this way, and then you deeply rub it 30 times, and then you rub it 30 times here. Now, if you can't do those and you haven't done it yet because you just came out of the sauna, I'll come back to you and you let me know when you've done it all. Okay. We'll give you some more time to do what you need to do. So we're going to jump to Miss Crystal. I'll come back to you, and you after you've done it, you let me know, and then I'll come back to you. Miss Crystal says, who hit my bed last night? So I'm going to just take a moment and get into that space. What do we got here? So did you experience the hitting of the bed? Yes. Did you experience it with when you were in emotional state? So what happens is when you're in a state of deficiency, the amount of energy is that it is very habitual to feel like timid, discouraged, and your field will be opened up more. But I also feel like your brainwave was more in a relaxed state. It wasn't in high beta. It was in a relaxed state. So you were emotionally feeling. And so what happens is that the hitting of the bed, I said, was it a non-fleshy? Was it any of that? They go, no, this is how, when you emotionally start to feel very timid, you get pulled back into a broadcast, meaning your brain will keep reliving out is as if you were attacked by someone in your safety of your own bed or safety in your own home. So your brain is getting ready to, your soul and your brain are ready to change and shift so they can start doing soul work. Now, I'm sorry, I know you probably think it's a person, but you're going into a very specific memory of when you were about 33, and it was like a very dark time. And that is the issue that I'm seeing that you're working on. Now, to help you to get through this is that notice that the hit of the bed invaded your territory, your safe space. And that's what you're going to measure is this thing came in out of nowhere, got my attention. It's about got my attention. It's crossed into my territory. And it's like, what? No, I don't want this anymore. And so what happens is to help you, your littles, or help all of this is that, did you feel startled? Yes or no? Because if that's the case, then you can go right wrist, first position, soft, and begin to feel how this has to do with territory where it feels they're invading, it's invalidating, you can't let go of how that first scary part was. It's stuck there. So your brain keeps going back to age 33. Does this make sense? Because again, I asked if it was a non-fleshy and any of that, and it just is that your brain is doing something very specific, and so it's at your soul's asking to create a disrupt. Jasmine, no, I have been out for 15 minutes. Oh, okay. So did you do the points? Did you do the points? Just need to know if you've done them and have you rubbed them? Have you done them? Because this is to help your brain. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to ask, is it still a high number, a high eight? Has it changed? Has it changed? Has it changed? Number come, what is it? 6, 7, 5, 5. All right. So Spirit, we'd like to bring this down. They go, have her do. Alrighty. You're going to use a magnet on both. You need to go back to that spleen again. But before you do, you need to come down and find spleen 21. Now, this will be on the side here, and you need to rub both sides. You got to get that spleen, the immune system to kick in and to help be fortified, to help you be stronger. And then you're going to go down to doing left side first, then the right. But the left side, you're going to go down, follow that big toe again. That's a spleen point. Use a magnet on that 24 times, and then deeply rub 30. And then you go to the right, do the same thing. And when you're done with that, we will have you begin to hold that point. Right wrist, second position. Okay. You're going to push deep at the second, not the first, but the second. So the second position, and what you're going to focus on has a lot to do with what you're feeling right now. Because this is, that's all considered the dark night. And then I will come back to you after I'm done with this. Now, Tamara, you have won the chat, my friend. Did you, this is, all these pips were courtesy of Ayme, which has her name in the drawing. Tamara. Tamara. And then after that, we will work with Angela. So Tamara is where we're at. Oh, Tamara, hi. Is there anything specific that you would like me to address? Do that right now. Do that right now. Ugh. I feel like somebody's stomach's upset. I don't know if that's Tamara or whose it is or what it is, because I feel like I'm hungry, but I'm not. I want to do a spirit. I'll do a spirit ask. Okay. And I feel like this somehow is okay. I feel like I'm 5 years old. I feel like I'm hungry but afraid to ask. I feel empty, and I feel this like I need something. And the reason this is coming in is because what I'm hearing is that I feel this way when I feel overwhelmed. My body goes into a physiology of this thing I just described, and it's like overwhelmed. So have you been feeling overwhelmed lately, Tamara? Because they're telling me to look at that overwhelm. And if I do, sometimes you feel very incompatible for whatever it is that you are engaging or supposed to, as always. Oh, okay, okay. So I said, do you want me to look at the incompatible? Now, this is where you just, oh, God, I just don't fit. I don't. So there's a certain amount of auditory digital, which means the self-talk that is, you're fully aware that I can't do this. or I can't do something. So they're saying that they would like you to understand that whatever it is you're engaging, I feel like it's a child, but it's like it's the child's demands are too much and you don't feel like you are equipped to deal with this. So I feel this energy of I don't know if I can cope or handle. I don't know what this is, but it just feels like it needs attention, it needs love, it needs to do this. And I feel like it's just their energy is so invading that it is just, oh, okay, I feel like I can't do it. So it's the self-talk. Now they really want me to focus on this self-talk. They self-talk is being aware that whatever you're engaging in is that you're rejecting. She said yes. Okay, so that's rejecting without realizing it. Like the first response, I don't care. You're a great mama. You're doing things, but your first response is you're rejecting. Okay, so the reason that comes up is because your 5-year-old is feels deficient that it cannot fulfill the needs of another, or that you feel like I don't know how to do this part. But I also feel like there's a lot of condemning that, or judging or comparing that you're doing it wrong, even though you may not be doing it wrong. But you have somebody else in your space like that is like a know-it-all. If they had kids, they'd probably screw them up, but they'd say that no, they did it right. And at the same time, you're like, but I don't know if I want to take advice from you. Does that make sense? But what I'm getting is I feel like you feel like you're deficient. You're like, whatever. The point is that, oh, and your heart is like going, okay, okay, okay. It's just too many things, too many things. So what do you want her to do? They said, well, first of all, is that notice how she's chant. She goes, oh, yeah, you chant. I can't do this again. I can't. So you've come to enough stage of going, oh, I can't. You're burnout, you're tired, you're feeling insane. You're like, oh my God. So now I ask what you feel like your peace is gone. Um, yeah, you just feel the insanity. So they are telling me, she says, oh my God, spot on. Okay. They're telling me that there's just so many things. We haven't recovered, so we got to get ahead of it. You can't get ahead of it because there's just always there. It's always so much on, and there's so first thing that you're going to write down is right wrist, second position, nice and deep. You're going to push in deep. So R2D, and you're going to focus on how I can't do it again. Literally, just go. Oh, and you push yourself because you got to, but it's you can. Oh, okay. You may have to do that often because it's really hooked into that. And this is based on how your outside is like always deficient. And so they really depend on you. And I really think that you're playing out your little at this point as well, because you always felt, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation when you were around 3 years old or when through your littles where you felt everybody's energy was just like smacking on you, hitting you, and you had to solve it. Okay. So what happens is there's now you just want to hide. I just want to hide behind this mask. I can't do it anymore. I'm hiding behind this mask. Now, we need you to work on this because this is part of your liver. Your liver needs to be able to process. So you're going to go left wrist, second position, nice and deep. Okay. Left and right, both second position, both are deep. Here it is like, I just want to hide. You don't know how to get a self-care. You don't know how to get me time. You don't know how to get that. Do you understand? Yeah, very good, very good. And I said, what else does she need to know? And they said, you seem to be in some form of relationships, whether it is family, friends, lover, whatever, but could even be your child. But there's a superior attitude, and it's like you have to take the inferior position. There's always this how do you want to call it, a very much very superior, very like you're not in competition with them, but they think you are. It's like you want to have a really bond, but yet at the same time, it's like, and you're like, what? Okay. She knows who I'm talking about. What you're doing is your heart's crying. It's like, what? What? I'm stuck in this relationship. What? What? So you're going to deal with your heart. Your heart, right wrist, first position, pushing deep, because your heart is going, oh, because it's seen it before, even though you're an adult. You've seen it before when you were 3. So you saw how everybody does things. So begin to look at how you are in the moment, going, oh, how you know it. You know, you see them, you see that, especially when you start to hear it, you're going to start to go, oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. Now you got this. Start to believe in yourself. You can do it. Okay. So now we're going to come back to Jasmine. Jasmine, how are you doing? How are you doing? So again, if you are wanting a reading, and you have never read before, then yes, I can give you a reading. So Jasmine, yes, feeling better. Okay, but we need to understand what is it? It was an 8. Now we don't want to just be able to hold on to it and go, okay, I can handle it now, and the number's still there because it'll just rise. Your littles, your body is all asking for you to show up and hold space for it and bring, you are going to be there for them and you're going to help bring yourself back to center. So that's where we are right now. Okay. So I look at it as like a 2, and they said that what happens is that you seem to be around somebody that's completely excessive with their superiority, and you are meant to drive yourself crazy because there's no other relationship but theirs choosing. So there's a lot of anxiety. Feels like the mother-in-law. But R2S, okay, R2S. Oh, joyous. Okay. Tamara says, wow, thank you so much. I take away to stay ahead of the crazy. Yes, you have to get ahead of it because if you can't get ahead of it, then you're going to be behind the 8 ball and it's just going to be a pressure. What I've learned through the hospitals, through pain, through whatever it is, you need to get ahead of it so your brain can go, oh my God, okay, I can come back online and do this. Oh, okay, so it's something else. Well, you understand where I'm coming from. Okay. Understand where I'm coming from. So it is super important to heal this. Let's see here. All right, now if you sent through PayPal, it hasn't showed up yet, so that means I got to go to PayPal and go find it. Somebody said they paid. So, oops, something just popped in, and yes, Joy, got it. Um, okay, so it just came in, and if you're ready, I will go ahead and read for. Oh, Angela, you present? I have one person before you, so give me a second. I got to honor Angela. Just want to make sure she's here. Sometimes she pops in and out. I felt like her energy was gone, but maybe she's back now. I can feel something. So, Angela, and then the person that pay is Joy. Give me a second. I need to. The lag is terrible. And if I give you any reading, you can always watch it on YouTube under Medicine Woman Solution. You know, like any of that. Subscribe. There she is. Okay, just hold on, hold on. So, Miss Angela, you said whatever spirit wants. DJ is like humming a tune to me, but I'm not getting the tune. So, has something been on your mind, or have you been in the house humming and you're not sure that you're humming? Now, the reason they're bringing this up is that he's saying, I'm with you and I'm creating a tune, and somehow you're getting in harmony with him. There's something you're doing, you're finding the rhythm. And he says that sometimes people will pull you out, but you get into this rhythm. He says, and I'm doing my best to hold space and create this hum, this happy space. So do you ever catch yourself going from hell to okay? He says, that's me doing my best to honor you. So he really feels like he's the guardian angel. He feels like he can do more work being on the other side. And he says, um, he's pulling you out of the pain and suffering that other people seem to hold, where they go, what about me? And you were there a long time ago, but you don't want to live there. And you're starting to realize that you're going to be holding the cup of peace. He says, I'm holding that cup of peace. Now he says, if you start to go into regret, he says, that's the biggest stinker I know, is that they want, he says, that's because you have invading energy coming in that makes you feel incompatible and puts you into that and makes your peace go away. He says, down, measure it, right wrist, second position, nice and deep. Okay. Did you get that? He says, the energy is making you go there. He said, so listen to what she said, write it down, measure it, R2D. Okay. Because you also have to begin to notice that when you are feeling like your peace is gone and your mind, your self-talk goes there, he says, you also have been saying, where did my happy go? Where did my happy go? He says, let that be a sign that you need to grab R2D. That's what he said. Okay. All righty. Joy. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Expressing myself, allowing myself to feel joy. All right, Joy. Let's see. It says, can I read it out loud? Okay. Now there's, from what I can feel from what you asked, I said, is it a straight yes or no? And they go, no. Choices have to be made on your end, their end. Well, in your field, you have this, people can get very aggressive in your field, and that being in your field is going to affect to some degree how you see it, how you're going to experience it. So I said, okay. And they said that when you have that energy field, that fear that they're going to say no. So it's like self-talk, 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 Joy. They said you only resonate as a 3 out of a 10 to get what you asked for. So what you wrote here, right? So Joy, it goes, to help you to get more aligned, I said, what would you want her to address? And they said that she's constantly has this story, the story of the dark night of the soul, the story of this is my story. This always happens. Ugh. They say you do this talk so that you won't get your hopes up. And but what happens is there's a part of you that's not really believing. You say you believe, but in your heart you're going, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because they said if you can start to clear out that like fear, that rejection, how you're going to handle rejection is to reject first. Because again, the universe is very much, this is what you were asking for, this is what you have to get. So we have to heal out this, oh my God, I'm going to get rejection, I'm going to get this. So if you allow yourself to heal, you go right wrist, first position, soft, and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to be rejected. Work through all that fears because that's a form of aggression. That's how you've imagined the outside. And they said, if you get that down to 0, you'll be up to an 8. Okay. Now we want it to be a 10 alignment. So I said, what else would be stopping her from actually getting what she wants? She says, they said, oh, like somebody, a grandparent, a mother, somebody on the other side, she's helpless. Somebody from the non-fleshy just yelled, helpless. So there's a certain amount of helpless feeling before you get the rejection, and you've imagined it, you've experienced it, and it's actually interfering with your safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, that freedom. So they said, if you can measure it, go to our right wrist, third position. Put your thumb down at the third position, nice and soft, and measure that. Now, if you get that down to 0, when you get it down to 0, you'll be more aligned to a 10, which means to answer your question that you wrote, it would be more. So you're switching timelines. And once you stop identifying as that story, identifying as that stuff, all of a sudden the universe will line into your favor because you're like, I don't have to wish and hope and pray and yearn long. I can heal all that. Like the door will feel like it's open and you will start to notice that your thinking and your thought will be more in alignment. It'll be easy peasy. See, never once did I believe that I would never be alone, or I would never be taken care of. I've always had this knowing that spirit's got my back. Something will happen, and then even in the 11th hour, and everything will just go in a beautiful way. Not that I'm cocky, but it is in a trust in this spirit's got my back. And in even a no can be a great yes because I can't create as good as spirit can, so all of a sudden better will come along. But at the same time, spirit has shown me that everything I did and invested in the past, my belief systems and fears and all of this, can stop me from aligning to the timeline that I wish and desire. So I have to see if there is any longing, any fears, any of this, and your anxiety seems to be a big one, or your daughter's anxiety affects your anxiety, and you both go off with anxiety. And if you both choose to heal, it'd be right wrist, second position, soft. It's more of a firmer alignment to getting your dreams come true. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So now I've done that, and that. We are going to go with Miss Ames. We got to get that alignment. There we go. And I need to get, there it is. That's not it. I've been out for a while and all of a sudden I forget what button's which button. It's weird. I haven't used this mouse in this office, and I've used the other mouse on my laptop. And by God, it's wobbly, like really tight. It's really hard. So I go to line up and the mouse goes, boom. Forgot how to use it. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. So yes, my prices have increased. We'll talk more about that at some other point. But if you have been tribal and you're really ready to grow and to heal, whatever the topic is that can help you change your thinking and grow. And a lot of times I'll be talking to your soul more than this, because your soul needs nourishment. Anyway, you can get cheaper prices in the private reads. So here she comes, and she's all pinky.
Today. Yeah.
Good. I can hear you. I can hear you. Excellent. So there's been a lot going on in your world. You have been stepping up out of your fear state and stepping into your heart of knowing that
Mm-hmm.
love. So what is it you want to share?
So, what is it that you want me to share? Let's go from that angle.
Okay, so throwing the ball back in my court, you have been going on a trip and a half that she has rediscovered herself on an appearance level of what she looks like. How is she showing up for herself on an appearance? How will other people show up? And it's not as scary as you thought it was.
No, it's not. It's not. It was a week ago Friday. I was doing my TikTok show and all of a sudden I heard it's time. It's time. It's time. And I'm like,
And that's a
it's
spirit
time.
go. And it's a knowing deep within that your spirit says,
Mm-hmm.
let's take this alignment to the next level. I've got your back. Okay.
And so I went in and I got my mom's shear, my dad's clipper, and my theme song, and I went and shaved my head.
Good. So now you no longer have a bad hair day.
No, I can't have a bad hair day because I
And
have none.
yeah, so you've gone through all of the stages of the transformation and the scariness, realize it wasn't as scary. So the preconceived notions,
Yeah.
didn't really need them. Now you had to change and do some healing about how you would look in the mirror and go, What is it I'm seeing? I don't recognize thyself.
Mm-hmm.
But you did that. You did good. And so now you have been exposing yourself, looking at other people. People are looking at you without your wigs, without your hair, without, maybe you have a cap on, maybe. But the point is that you're not afraid to express yourself because you're
No,
starting to realize what? That women without hair can be just as important with women that does have hair.
exactly, exactly. And I went over and saw my one friend, Mom and Dee,
Okay.
and I had a hat on, and I took off my hat, and her mouth hit the floor, and I think it went to the basement.
Right. Well, because the image of how she saw you was so different that it was shocking to her brain. Now
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we take that a personal, but we also have to understand if somebody has never seen something like that before, it can be a shock. Now, we don't have to take it personal.
No,
How did you take it?
I I didn't take it personal. I could see her shock, and I'm like, so I showed her what I looked like
Okay, so you
before I
gave her some
came.
parameters and some
And
references.
then she's like, yeah, I can see why you had to.
Good. So more information allows everybody to have a better communication. Yes?
Mhm. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So you've been on this journey, and how can I help you?
Again.
Dig in. So when I look at live experiences and things like this, it is when you're expanding who you are versus the new you versus the old you. Now, there is an old part of you that you have been experiencing, and it's okay to understand that you have a self-imposed limitation.
Hmm.
Okay. So we know, okay, does this, everybody knows that you were an orphan? Yes. So
Hmm.
it's safe to go down that road?
Hmm.
Okay. So she came in with this consciousness and all the epigenetics of an emotions and stuff from the birth mom, and then she was named. She was named a certain name, and then she had not known that you had a first name. You only known one name called Ayme. When did you discover that you had a first name?
That I was named when I was born, I think I was probably somewhere between 22 and 25.
Oh, did you ever know that you were adopted?
I knew my whole life. I mean, that was never a secret.
All right, but you never knew you had another name. Now, I'm going to look at this because you've been going through journeys of personalities with your name. So AMY, then it was AIMEE, aim me. And so you had it learned aim. And then it came to this is me, AYME. Now, you have been learning to look and to see the beliefs and all of this and integrate, but now it's time we go back further. So, who you were was, you know, to put it, how you are reacting today is not about your adoptive parents, but your birth parents. So this is what you first learned inside the womb up to a day or two, and whoever you were experiencing before you found your mom and dad. Now, the energy is what I'm looking at, and that is your little self, the one inside the womb, all of that before you even had a name, was experiencing lofty energy about your existence. Okay. So your mom must have gotten pregnant before she got married and was probably told that she couldn't keep you. She probably wanted you, but yet she was forced to get rid of you. You would have felt all of that forced energy because you would have, from what I can feel inside the womb, about 6 months inside the womb, you felt your birth mom's deficiency, and your soul says, "Oh, I need to learn about deficiency." So you would have taken on that energy of deficiency, how to stand up for yourself, how to fight back, how to do any of this, because the strong feeling, and if you haven't wondered what I'm doing here, the strong feeling is that the deficiency is now you have to look at. And you're like, but AM, AI, AY, we're doing good. But that consciousness that was inside the womb, the soul marker says, I was supposed to feel how the outside is supposed to make me feel deficient. Because I have to finish off the. Oh, do we have earrings on?
Hmm?
Let me see. Do you have earrings on?
I do.
Oh, yeah, a little sneaky peeky there. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. So you have to now hold space for that little part of you that feels deficient. So you have to look at your knee-jerk reactions. You have to look at that chase. So I'm going to look at this before you even had a name. You had the chase. The chase means I was running from. They said you were running from disapproved of. Okay, so it has to show up inside. You're in the womb. We disapprove of that baby. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, you don't know exactly, but they were disapproving the mom, and the mom was disapproving you. So you're having secondhand disapproval. But you're running towards. Now, as I was running towards, it's funny because a soul marker, you're running towards understanding the perspectives of the perception of invading energies. You had a big soul thing, right? So I said, I go, you were chasing. Usually it's chasing love. Usually it's something good. It's usually, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna double check to see if that is even something that you. Hold on, I gotta get all this paper out of my space first. So what is it that you chase down? And I'm looking, and I feel like you were chasing down just to exist. So it wasn't even about I'm chasing down peace, love. I'm chasing down to exist. And if you wanted to go a little bit further about love, it's about being centered. And so what I'm seeing is that your condition from that particular past life, okay, is coming up. And you have, like I said, you have addressed all this, but you now have to insert that before you were named the feelings. Now, what I'm looking at is that I feel like this is Viking times. Viking times. Okay. I'm watching how did you come in as female? Yes. So women were very strong in Viking times. It wasn't just about the males. Women were very strong. And I feel like you had a very strong attribute because you had to fight for your land, but you also had to fight and pillage to take land because it was all about settlements and all of this. It was really interesting. But what I got was that you needed to experience what is coercing, what is because of a particular coercing to be in that particular time period and to who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to experience it. Okay. Now, why I go, what did you do? Well, they said when you were about 3 months old, you had like a Viking mom. Do you understand what I'm saying? Was she the mom that adopted you? Were you in her presence at that age?
Hmm. Yep, I was 6 weeks old when I.
Okay, so her strong signature was like that. It was the voice always has to be her. She always has to be. What do you think of? Listen to how that Viking would be. What is your imagination of a Viking? Let's see if you can tap into understanding this a little bit.
um had to be heard. It was like she,
A lot of responsibility.
yeah. Um,
Gotta keep things together. Must be strong.
have to be lofty in order to compete with
Ah, okay. So we're talking about now, not in the household, but in the environment.
the environment, with my dad. I mean, in order for
Okay,
her
everywhere.
to, yeah, she had to
Okay.
be lofty.
So you had to experience something of the other side, the duality of, and you had to experience also what deficiency was. So that means you had to stand into the space of how you were received. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So now what you did in this time is that you got to experience all about the other side. So I said, well, then what are we doing? And they said that it's about learning how to act, learning how to react, learning how to understand these signatures, because we're looking for the wisdom. With your mother, she said she was aggressive. However, assertive. She's like, use the word assertive. Okay. However, she chose to get her point across because she was right. She told you to stay down, don't get up.
Hmm. You're very passive aggressive.
Okay, but it wasn't just from her. It was all people that said,
Hmm.
including like the father, relatives, all of it, you're a girl.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you were very much told that you had to be beta right from the time you popped into the womb. Now, all you've ever known in this life is about that point of view and learning how to stand up, learning how to do. But it was also, can I be safe to be me going out into the world? Now, when your mom and dad died, it was a little rocky at best. And then you started finding spirituality and you started integrating these parts. Now you're at this stage. I'm being strong, I'm getting out there. You have to feel a challenge. Now, the reason why is because your mom's dead. So you have to feel the signature. You're ready, you're more stronger to decide your test. What is the wisdom? Do you need to do that? Do you need to do that? And part of it is learning that looking at it from a certain point of view. Did your mother ever use you to get information?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So there's something there because you don't have the same players as you had before. It's a whole different ball field because that era was all about gossip. It was all about tell me what your brother's doing,
Hmm.
all of that. So you don't have the same thing. I said, have you created it? No, you don't feel like you need to. But the chase that I need to be centered. The chase. What was the other chase? The chase was, and I totally have now forgot, besides the word centered, the chase. That invading and no.
It was lofty.
Yeah, but I think it was something else. But does anybody else remember what I said? But the chase needs to change. Okay. The question is, are you willing to?
Chasing to exist.
That's it. That's it. Okay. So to exist. Now I'm going to look because it's not here. It's in that shared scalar field. And I said, what is in that scalar field? You are supposed to panic. You are supposed to be the identity of panic. And the reason why is because once you've panicked or once you have this identity, once you have this, then they're supposed to show up as whatever it is that makes you would panic. Okay. So in this case, you would need to start learning about how you were trained about learned helplessness. Now, again, the only way you could get yourself in this lifetime from understanding that Vikings time was to be put uh, learned helplessness is how somebody can either use extreme force and starve you to death and said, do this and you can get your food. It's part of becoming less than. It's the four archetypes of the prostitute, the saboteur, the child with many faces, and the victim. So you got to experience this on a deep level. But you have out here is that you're supposed to panic. And once, so we have to understand, like I was supposed to feel guilt in order to make sure that the environment stays calm. You're supposed to panic when you feel that particular energy come on. So R1S is that learned helplessness. So you as a child, look, you just got a whole bunch of stuff in your head. Yes. Now, why would panic? Is it because they say it's not words as much as the gesture? I don't know what gesture to give you. The tone.
It was the look and the tone. It was um because my mom panicked a lot, I believe.
Oh, okay. So now we got another tool or another thing here because I have to download what it feels like to be a human, which means I have to panic because my mom is panicking. Now, if you have a double panic, let me look, which is what you had. Birth mom, second mom. Okay. We all know that the physical state it can only really be changed by the external, which then changes the internal representation. So it's how the energy comes in. It's not about your DNA. This is about your uh, outside. Ooh, there goes my phone again. Oh, okay. So you have been addressing your thyroid, which has a lot to do with the fifth chakra and the truth and the way you metabolize energies. Okay. So how do you want to put this? They're saying just focus. Feel how you have to chase down that you believe that you don't exist and you have to fight for your existence. Let's look at from that point. Can you feel that? I got a quiver going on.
I'm hearing, what's the point?
So you're at the giving up stage, yes? So that's where I'm thinking. You're at the giving up stage. And notice that you had to shut up, sit down, and be quiet and do as they say. And it's just much easier to say, okay, just follow along as she says, and then it'll soon be over. And the
Mhm.
great wisdom of my son saying that to me, and I'm like, oh my God, in my horrification, as being a mom, how did I show up to him? But we heal and move on. We change behaviors. So notice how you have resigned to, I guess I'm not supposed to, or I guess what? So just feel that resigning. Because it was really huge. By the time you hit 21, you were ready to check out until Spirit said no. And you were encouraged in a unique way to live. We have to go back to how I'm not supposed to exist. You need to see this because it gave you the ability to change their behavior, which was what? If they were showing up one way in panic, you're like, but I don't want them in panic. So I'm going to change my behavior so they'll change their behavior and everything will be all right. But it didn't work. I mean, it worked, but not really because now Ayme is getting older and it's like, wait a minute, it didn't work. See, these are those little hidden behaviors we have sitting there. That makes sense.
Mhm. When I survived cancer, they looked at me different.
What does that mean?
They looked at me as stronger.
They noticed you're different.
Mhm.
So, what was the point of having cancer? I know the body felt like it needed conflict and it needed to check itself out. And you didn't check out, and they said, is because there was that you were attracting in that if I just take a different action than how I normally do it. So, did you rise a little bit and decide I'm not going to? Because usually a person will overcome a very sick situation, a physical situation, by not being the same personality that created it.
Mhm. Yeah,
So, can you see how your personality changed for the better to create you to exist?
yeah. I I was stronger,
Okay.
but there was still all of this fear hiding underneath. It was another mask.
Okay. But you're able to still decide at that point, your soul says, no, you're not done. You came here to learn the different perspectives to change some super duper perceptions that we're holding. So your family began to treat you differently, you said for the better?
Hmm.
Okay, so it took a bitch slap for you to decide to change certain particular personalities, and one of them was, I'm done being discouraged. Okay. Now, being that you have a program that is has to do with panic, okay, I have to panic. I have to do this. It's in your field right now, and it is connected to being discouraged. So you're getting ready to decide, um, where's the wisdom hidden in that? And I said, it's not about being a victim. I needed to be this in order for them to stop that. You know, it's right there.
I had to be that in order for them to stop their own insanity.
Okay, now you can actually begin to see this. What we're doing is she had one, and I'm using that right now. And I'm going to get to you, Joyous, as soon as we are done with this. So just so you know, let me just see if you paid. You said something about you did, but I only see one here. So let me see if it's come through. Oh, there it is. It's setting off. Okay, so I'll get to you in just a moment. Okay, Joy? So notice how you lost why you did it. And shame was somehow shame ended up being the frosting. So did they now you start using this in their advantage? Meaning they notice that you change so that they'll stop, but now to get you to control you more, they would use shame as words. But how did they come at you? How did they invade your space? How did they become so alpha that you didn't realize that now you're being quieter, quieter, and quieter? Because again, you needed to see this because of that Viking era. They use blame words. Oh, that's what we talked about this morning. So they use blame and shame. So
Uh-huh.
we have a conversation. Oh, I couldn't have a cup of coffee this morning because you didn't do something. Or do you understand what I'm saying? It's like somehow because they didn't do it, it's because you didn't do your part. Instead of them just doing the part themselves. And there's some shame. I wouldn't have done that way. Shame on you. You should have done it this way. Um,
Yeah, like what I typed there, that.
okay. So your aura became bigger because it was easier to wait to become you by putting because again, it's like I believe the outside is what stronger than you, that it's more right than you. But again, you had started with I needed to experience. I needed to. Oh, I'm going to use this so they'll calm down, and then they turned around and used this. But it's a continuous panic.
Mhm.
It's a continuous panic. You understand? Okay, but the question remains: is to see all of these perspectives is that you kept losing power. You gave away your power and then you lost power. But notice how the shaming was that now that you're in a different position, it's like you can't get your power back.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what they're saying here is where you know that you have to behave in order to survive. So you're going to hold L2D. You got a couple minutes left and then we will move on. But notice how the family members would use love as a weapon and how that grinds you. Now, this is where your little felt the grandparents or whoever was pushing to for your birth mom to get rid of the bun in the oven. And you could feel how the shame, how she felt, how she was coerced, how you were hated because she was going to bring shame or you would have brought shame to the family. So I see another cross past life where you were the scenario may not be this, but it's part of the analogy, and that is when you take one tribe and you have another tribe, and somehow either the two people fell in love when they weren't supposed to, or somehow but you became the child of things that weren't supposed to blend. You understand where
Uh-huh.
Okay. So somehow you became this child that was unacceptable because of the cultures, the values, the beliefs, that's not how we see it. This is not how it's supposed to be. So it's how that first chakra. Ah, okay. You have a lot of twists in here. You have a lot of twists in here. So it's panic upon panic. So we have to get you ahead of the panic. We have to get you the head of the panic. And I feel like, in a way, you're starting to say, okay, I need to focus on how my shared energy field has panic in it. And they said from here on out, you're going to become aware, have a live experiences, and you're going to start doing R1S because it's like, I'm reacting. Stop. Pull yourself out as your spirit and look to see if there's panic in the field. It may not be here, it may be just sitting in the shared space because that's how you're supposed to show up so they can show up. Or that's how you memorize yourself is panic and now you need them to
That
show up too.
happened yesterday.
Okay, it happened yesterday. Okay. So this is where you are. You're not working here, you're working in that scalar field. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so time's up. What number are you at?
I feel like I'm at a 0.
Okay, so again, you got homework to do. You got to look at the knee-jerk reactions that came out of nowhere that could lead to a bitch slap or a whisper. But you got to catch yourself as you're knee-jerking
Mhm.
and realize it's the scalar field of panic that you've memorized, not just in this lifetime, my friend. According to what I see is two or more, and you're creating a paradox with those as well. This is deep. Like Robin says, that's deep, very deep.
Very deep.
All right. So we're going to take one of your wins and cross it off the list. And thank you so much for everything you do. Can you give it before and after? Because did any of it make sense?
It did make a lot of sense with what I've been going through in the last, say, 2 weeks, but also what happened today. It
Because I haven't, because I've been out, I haven't been communicating as much. So you have been having experiences and you've been doing good at handling them on your own without asking for assistance, which is very good, very growth. And yet you're supposed to gather. And the main theme you see these last 2 weeks has been what?
has been seeing that panic um in either in other people or in the scalar field. Um, but today I feel like my little went into a panic.
Okay. Again, you're going back to when you're in the womb.
Hmm.
Okay. Before
And
even
as I was feeling, I didn't have any words. I mean, it wasn't even thoughts. It was just
it's
emotion.
the knowing of that structure of the chemical peptide. And again, this is something that you picked up and it's healing a lot of timelines. So that's what we're doing. So your wisdom is, were you shocked when I said the word panic?
Actually, yes.
Now you can begin to see it as the AY holding support for, oh my goodness, this is how parts of me did see it. And you can hold that space by using that tool. And the big key word with the panic is learned helplessness. You're going to discover whatever you need to discover. You could be on a mission, you're on a quest, you're on a whatever it was. Robin said one word, and I can't remember for the life of me about all of these individual things.
I was
But
on
there's
the
something,
chase for existence.
yes, yes, that one's like,
That
yes.
was like,
Okay. And again, when you start to do that, this is about learned helplessness. You just thought, what's the point?
mhm.
Happy healing is all I got to say. And good job. Good job. So now do you feel better now
I
about
do, I
the whole
do.
week? The whole week? Yeah. So it's balancing out.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I said the other one was that you wanted to be centered and you're not sure exactly what that center looks like. And that's what we're looking for. Okay.
We'll
All right.
get
Good
there.
job. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we'll talk to
I
you
love
later.
you. I love the blue hair.
Thank you. I had, yes. So just wait until the rest of the
Oh,
stuff.
I'm excited to see what you come up with next.
Me too. All right, same here. I don't know what other color hairs you got, but we're gonna find out, won't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, hon. I love you. We'll talk to you later. Okay.
Love you too. Bye.
Great. Bye. So it's amazing when you just think you get enough information and all things change. Now we're gonna go over to Joy. All right, Joy. Now Miss Joy has asked, is it okay to say it out loud? It's a good thing to be seeing ones often, right? What are ones? Well, if you put stock into what a one is in the definition in numerology on two ones together make an 11. But if you go down the slope with your legs together, it's great. But if these ones split and you're not limber enough, it could hurt. Okay. Yes, that's okay. All right. So ones can be that you're standing and, your hold. It could be many things. If you feel like there's anything negative, you heal it out. It's all I got to say. Because you want to get back to the center of nothing is evil, nothing is bad. Where is my screen? There's a question. Uh, okay, so she's got choices in her life. Joyce says, I see two people, and I'm curious if it's C or M. Which one do you see me long term with? Someone else. Now, to answer this, okay, so I'm looking and I'll see the match of the energy of C, and it is about 50-50. And if I go to M, it's about 50-50. No wonder you're struggling. And if it's somebody else, they're always going to have that ability to grow. But since you're right now, wherever you're at that 50-50. I said, how can we change it? What would be the change so that she can find one where her heart sings with less conflict and any of this? But the thing is they're telling me that you kind of need a little bit of conflict. And I'm like, wait a minute, why does she need conflict? Because that's how she's known her world. So do you like to fight a little bit? Do you like to be right a little bit? Do you like to? They said, because if you were going to measure it on this particular part of your personality, they're both at 100%. But on a soul level, they're saying that your soul is saying there's a part of you that needs to grow. And when you start to grow out of that, they said you need to eventually address awkwardness. So how you get yourself out of awkwardness is a certain behavior. Do you understand this, Joy? Do you understand that? I thought I shut that off. No, I did not. No wonder I'm sweating. Okay. Feedback is terrible. Yeah, kinda. Okay, so give her words so she can understand. Learning about who you are. They said that the fighting style. Okay, have you ever felt awkward? So first, sorry, smack myself. First, just let's discover the word awkward. And you will always be emotions and thoughts and things like this. So if I were to say, what is awkward? Causing difficulty, hard to deal or do or deal with. So when you're in a relationship with either C or M, do you feel, it's like this moment is hard to deal with, or there's just, it's hard to do this. Has any of that awkwardness come up in either of those relationships? Yes. Okay. Understand that your soul is working on awkwardness at this point. So you drew to you the C and M to help you address, to look and to own your shit and decide, do I need awkwardness to be part of my integrity of who I am? Now, most people don't think they can heal awkwardness. I say, yes, you can. For you, you would end up holding right wrist, second position soft, and you're going to feel every part of how you describe how you know awkward, because it's connected to the anxiety that you're like, okay, I have to live with this anxiety for the rest of my life. Not true. We can calm it down. So awkwardness sets that off. Now, if you were to heal out the different layers of awkwardness, then and get back to the center of self, you would, like, for instance, if we were to rub your points, all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, I know who I want. Because C would be 8 and M would be 10. So all of a sudden you would go, if I said, I want you to choose C is it, and your heart goes, no, I want M, you kind of already know. So right now you're in doubt. You are in that state of awkward, and it's showing up as awkward for you to make a choice. So you've got to understand there's a part of you that's afraid that if I choose, then I'm going to be left with the wrong one. And so awkwardness, anxiety is trying to help you create a future. Anxiety is not your friend. Anxiety is not the one to choose. You need to heal the anxiety out so you can listen with your heart and say, okay, if neither one of them existed, or I don't have to go into fear, who can I tolerate for the rest of my life? What am I willing to put up with? I have so many people that will say to me, "Oh, I don't mind picking up his socks and cleaning out the hair out of the sink or the smell of his farts." 5 years down the road, you're gonna go, "Oh my God, what did I choose?" And you build up the intolerance tube so much that you're willing to end the love. I want you to understand if you're going to choose love, you have to always begin to heal you to get back to center. Okay? You with me on this? All right. Um, does that help you? So funny you said that. Empires. Yeah, but will you be able to put up with it? Will it be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Is it, so you're okay in the moment, but at the same time, so you have this growth that you're meant to do. Now I said, is there a part of you that once you heal some things would see an M be in the picture? No, you're not going to settle anymore because there's a part of you that says, I don't have to be deficient. I don't have, they're showing me another thing, and I'll give you this extra thing, even though I know that we're done with the reading, but it's like, I'm willing to settle because there's nobody else that wants me. I'm going to tell you that's bullshit. But at the same time, you need your needs met, they can fulfill it. And there's that dependent issue. If you could fulfill some of your needs and allow yourself to align with somebody that's more of like-mindedness, you will actually get your needs met more. Instead of going, oh, I need the 5 languages of love. They're not giving it, and I always got to fight it. Oh, I can change him, blah, blah, blah. None of that shit works. So you'll be in the cycle of in a relationship. Now, again, we all have to go through this. I've had to go through this myself, and I'm in a good space right now because relationships is that me and my husband, if we're out of sync, we stop. We're out of sync, we go heal. And different personalities, if we're scared or we're nervous, I become aware, he learns to become aware, and we stop. We don't bleed on each other. If we're anxiety or any of that stuff, we stop because we know it's going to disrupt the other person's soul. And so we just like, okay, instead of talking it through and bleeding all over and we just stop and just start to call ourselves back home. We learn to hold space for us to get back to the center of peace. Okay. Does that make sense? Hope so. You can rewatch all this on YouTube as many times as you want. Leave a comment if you watch it again. That would be awesome. And your name could actually go into a drawing to win a free one if you needed to. No. Oh, yes, it does. Okay, wonderful, Joy. Morgan asked the question, does it mean when I will get my own play home if I'm extremely happy just thinking about it? You are a whole being. But if your mental is not communicating with your heart, if your brain and your heart are not coherent, then it can't put out the electromagnetic, which means thoughts are electrical and motions are magnetic. So if you're here in your face, feeling and thinking and feeling and being, and then 2 minutes later, you're like, no, I go into doubt, then you didn't hold it long enough. Stay there longer, build a part of your brain because you need to activate the RAS, the reticular activating system. That means that when your heart and your brain together create this coherence, it's like, I know. I just now have to let it unfold. Whereas then ego comes in and goes, well, I don't see it. I don't see it. You got to get rid of doubt. So just like I know physically, I still have some pain. I don't focus on that. I am better and better. I already know I'm whole. I already know. So every day that I get up and I move, I memorize. So my heart and my brain goes, oh, yeah, that's what health feels like. Yeah, baby. And I begin to feel it. And I already know that I'm whole. I just have to step into it. And that day will happen where I was like, hey, I'm whole. And I will know it because it's happening. It's unfolded. I don't check my watch. I don't go into misery. I don't go into, I just hold the space and then spirit will start showing me the wins. the wins, that shows me that I am closer and closer to that very thing that I've been wanting to have. And I already have it right now. You have to believe it before you see it. How do you bring yourself out of panic mode? Okay, first, if you can check that you're panicking. Now, panic is if you've gone really over the edge and you're in the panic mode, the only thing I will tell you to do is that you got to start to ground yourself. But most people can't get that. So I would just say use a little chart, I don't have my EFT chart here, but have your EFT chart. Have it on hand. Paste it. Yeah, I don't have it here. Paste your EFT chart so that it's on a wall wherever you feel like you're going to have the most panic, and then you just follow it. You can get a picture, a PDF, a picture off of my website, Medicine Woman Soultion. That's SOULTION.weebly, WEBLY.com, and look for EFT. Now, when you're in a panic, you can't ground, you know it, because you're super high focused. You can start tapping and you just keep doing several rounds. It doesn't matter if you're out of order or what, but you got to get all of these meridians. You can even go like this, you can go like this, but keep doing several rounds. Now, the other thing is that when I fell, I could have gone into panic, but I know that if I can communicate or listen, I won't have to go there into panic. So I can catch myself without having to go into panic. So when I fell and I knew I couldn't move, I could have panicked. I knew that my mental part of me could not function and figure out how to do the phone. I mean, I got it open. I finally got it past that, freaking lock screen. And then it was like, who do I call? What do I do? And I knew it. I could hear it. Call my husband. I can't find him because I can't remember how to find the phone. Okay. I said, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. So I started chanting. The next thing I know, I hear this woman named Teresa. I swear she's an angel. And she's like, "Hun, do you need help?" And I said, I said, yes. And so I says, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. So she's talking to me. She, oh, I love your nails, da 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 da. And I said, oh, yes, I'm connecting. And because I know I don't need to go there. Stayed with her, connected with her. We got help. We got my husband and my son-in-law, and we got me to where I need to be. And when I had to wait for the ambulance, which never did come, so we canceled it, um, the lady at the Grove, the server, I said, can you just stand with me and talk to me, talk with me, or let me talk? And she's, yeah, let's talk about some subjects. So we did. And so she just engaged and we talked as if we knew each other. And because I did that, I didn't go there. I didn't run with it. I didn't need to. But when you are panicked, if you can get someone to talk with you, and a lot of times it is all about the sleight of hand. What did you have for breakfast? What did you have for dinner? Come on, quickly. What did you have? What will happen is your brain will go, I had. And what happens is you're breaking that connection to go into the panic, just like if you had hiccups. And you'll start to come back to a center. So you can then say, oh, I don't want to go there. Okay. Now, again, if you're alone, I just would start doing this. Okay. And then when you feel that and when you're done with it, and fear usually will be this stuff that you're like, oh my God, I'm sweating. I have a whole physiology thing, all of this. Go to your left wrist, second position, nice and deep, and sit there with it and feel that fear. Feel how you did the fear, measure it, and heal it out. Good night, Nicole. Okay. All right. Like a good time. I'm going to double check to make sure everybody has been taken care of. I can switch this to no, I struggle with my realizing it's a yes, because I trust spirit always has my back. Yes. You start to develop this within inside of yourself, a trusting and a knowing, just like you know your name, just like you know you need to take a crap, just like you know you can understand how you know some things, even if it's fearful, and you use a tool to disrupt the signals, the emotional chemical peptides, And your brain will thank you later because it's like, you'll thank me later because it's like you will disrupt and your brain will go, hey, I don't have to go down that road. Let's go this way. EFT can be your best friend. Trust me. Getting the blood back up in your forebrain, OMG, can be your best friend. Great show. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I double checked. I believe I've got everybody. I just got to get this mouse to cooperate or my hand to cooperate with the mouse, however it goes. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that we're able to take this next adventure together and move forward. So thank you so much. Remember, hashtag resolve to evolve, hashtag heal instead of deal, hashtag you can heal this, hashtag I got this, hashtag thank you, Spirit. I was waiting for that. Hashtag stay blessed. So you're already blessed, you're already whole. So stay blessed and be healing. And I forgot to record.